We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
We are live from Waukee High School, the Waukee Fieldhouse, getting set for an early season battle between two of the top teams in Class 5A in girls basketball. The fourth-ranked Johnston Dragons, last year's #1 team, 3-1 so far this season, are visiting the sixth-ranked and unbeaten 3-0 Waukee Warriors. My name's Emery Songer. I am joined alongside John Hurl here on Central Iowa Sports Network, getting set for what should be a phenomenal season of hoops action on both the girls and boys side. And we get a doozy of a doubleheader to start things off, John Hurl.
Absolutely, Emery. I couldn't be more excited. We've got 4 teams tonight ranked in the top 10 of their respective divisions, boys and girls side. It really should be a good evening, and really this is the first real true test for both of these teams on both the guys and girls side. So I'm excited to see what these teams have in store.
Between all 4 teams, just one loss, and that was Johnston's only loss to now #3 ranked Cedar Falls. As you said, John, this is going to be something to be seen. Which of these teams are going to step up? We'll get to your keys to the game for this girls game. We'll also talk about the starting lineups and who you can expect to be stars of tonight's action right here in Waukee. Jonston and Waukee right here on Central Iowa Sports Network.
Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. Kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
We know you have choices where you buy and service your next vehicle. At Schottenkirk Chevrolet, our core values make the difference. Hard work, always working to exceed your expectations. Trust, we accept the challenge to earn yours. Honesty, it's non-negotiable. Integrity, everything we do is guided by our core values. Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee, let us prove to you why we're different.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Fall is upon us and fireplace season is here, and you need a new Heat and Glow gas fireplace insert. They're the perfect thing to make that old wood fireplace more beautiful, warmer, and easier to use. And right now, Heat and Glow is giving a $200 rebate, making it even easier for you to upgrade that old fireplace. Please come see them today. Fireplace Superstore, 109th and Douglas in Urbandale.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Yeah, we're back here live from Waukee Fieldhouse, Waukee, Iowa. Matchup of two ranked teams. Fourth-ranked Johnston, 3-1 on the season, as we mentioned. They only lost to the number 3 team right now, Cedar Falls. For Waukee, they're 3-0 so far. They are ranked 6th according to the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Emery Songer, John Hurl here with our entire crew with CISN. And let's go ahead, John, and talk about some keys to the games first for the visitors from Johnston.
Yeah, when I look at the Johnston Dragons, for them, number one, they need to find a third scorer. You look at their top 2 scorers, very successful, Maya McDermott and Kendall Need. But after that, there's a bit of a drop-off in terms of scoring. They're going to need to get a third scorer because against a good team like Waukee, Waukee knows that they're going to have to stop those 2 girls early. So it'll be interesting to see who arises to fill up the stat sheet for Johnston on that side. Other than that, you're going to have to at least try to slow down Peyton Kelderman. I don't know if that's entirely possible. Kelderman comes into today's game averaging 16 points a game, but you're going to have to slow her down and maybe force some of the other girls on Waukee's team to fill that scoring gap.
Okay, so that's what we're looking at for the fourth-ranked Johnston Dragons. What do you think about the home team, the Waukee Warriors?
Well, when I look at Waukee, the girls need to focus on perimeter defense, particularly on Maya McDermott. Maya McDermott comes into today's contest averaging 53%, shooting 53% from 3, 17 for 32.
That's a big sample size.
That's a big sample size. Don't let her get hot from 3, or else she will make you pay for it. And frankly, Johnston could run away with this game if McDermott gets hot from 3. But other than that, look to get the crowd into the game early. You have the advantage. You're at home. Johnston's going to have to come here and play in your gym. Make sure that you give the crowd something to get excited about early and maintain that throughout the game to maintain your home court advantage.
These two teams both made it to the state tournament in Wells Fargo Arena. Not a very long drive for either of them in the Class 5A bracket, but they were seeded number 1 and number 2. Neither of them pulled out a state championship, though. Waukee was defeated by West Des Moines Dowling Catholic in the first round of the state tournament, lost in the state quarters. This is a year, of course, that they figured that they could be right back in the mix, and that's why they're ranked 6th early on this season. And then when you look over at the Johnston Dragons, they were number 1 going into the Class 5A tournament last year and lost in the state semifinals to West Des Moines Valley. So a couple of West Des Moines schools knocked out these two suburban schools. They're going to be looking to try to get some revenge, and this is a great way to start. Whoever wins this game certainly will be taken as one of the top contenders as a state tournament team here in Class 5A. We'll step aside when we come back, the opening tip-off. But before we do that, we're going to, real quick, take a couple of looks at the starting line. When we get to the starting lineups, you mentioned Maya McDermott, 22.5 points per game, 53% from 3. She's 56% from the field. This is a girl that has 90 points in 4 games so far. It's not going to be easy if you're going to slow down, but you talked about if you are going to stop her, you need to slow her down from the perimeter, outside, in, and try to make somebody else beat you.
I'd say that, Emery, you look at Maya McDermott, she's only 5'5". Of course, that she can still score inside, but, that size disadvantage a lot of times for her going inside, she's going to prefer to shoot the outside shot. So when you look at trying to stop her, it really does start from the outside looking in. And that's somebody like a Kendall Need, one of the taller girls down below, Need, a senior coming in at 5'11". She's going to have to do a lot of the groundwork on the inside if they decide to play hard perimeter D.
When you look at the other side for Waukee, it's really balanced. Peyton Kellerman does have 16 points per game, but she also has been unbelievable from outside, 10 of 16 so far in 3 games from behind the arc. But Katie Dinnebier has 13 points a game. Reagan Bartholomew also 10 points per game. Lindsay Kellerman just under that 10 points per game mark. This Waukee team can go deep in terms of scoring. And that's why I think I completely agree with you. You try to have to take off the head of the snake before you can worry about all the other factors that makes Waukee so good.
I would completely agree with that, Emery. It's really hard to game plan against teams that are as balanced as this Waukee team is coming into today, because as soon as you put too much focus on someone like a Kelderman, you might get burned by somebody else. But still, you got to look at Kelderman, you got to look at stopping her and see, because this offense does work through her, if that can help you stop the Waukee Warriors.
Should be a good one. Let's go ahead and take our break. When we come back, we'll get you those starting lineups in the opening tip-off. 4th-ranked Johnston and 6th-ranked Waukee, an excellent matchup of girls basketball teams that were at the state tournament last year right here on CISN.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving Northwest and Central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Warm-ups continuing live from the Waukee Fieldhouse. Emery Songer, John Hurl, our entire crew. We're excited to bring you a season full of regular season action for high school basketball. Doubleheader tonight. Our first game, as we talked about at length here, the 4th-ranked Johnston Dragons coming in to take on the 6th-ranked Waukee Warriors. Our matchup in the nightcap on the boys' side. 2 teams ranked in the Des Moines Register Super 10. I'm friends with Matt Bain, guy who puts that thing together. He knows his stuff, and he thinks that Waukee's number 2 in the state, regardless of class, and Johnston's number 8 in the state, regardless of class. I mean, I don't want to look ahead too far here to our game later tonight, but if you gave me an opportunity this early in the season to see 2 games back-to-back in the same gym that mean more to the state of Iowa, I don't know if you could find a better 2 games here with the girls and the boys. Yeah,
Emery, and of course, we're not to conference play yet, but you still look at this game as something that could possibly affect district matchups later on in the season. It's hard to already think about that far into the road and that into the playoff time, but this is something that could come up as some way in which one team gets home field advantage over the other, and so they're both going to be giving it their all tonight, and I know that they're really, really excited to get the season started.
Both teams heading back to the bench. We're going to have our starting lineups in the national anthem here momentarily. Waukee, as the home team, will wear the white uniforms trimmed in that purple. A little bit confusing. Johnston's primary color also purple, but they'll be wearing the black uniforms with white trim and some purple as well. I believe we're going to do the national anthem first as they're setting up here in midcourt. I believe we're going to have a children's choir. We'll get down to the floor for that here momentarily, but just overall, there is a palpable excitement. We watched the sophomore boys game just before this one. Loud student section. This is a fun atmosphere.
Absolutely a fun atmosphere. And, Waukee, they know how to do high school sports down here. They've had the great fortune to be successful in a lot of different things that they've done, and you can see that from the banners in this gym.
It's overwhelming, honestly.
Overwhelming. Yeah.
And then the trophy cases outside the gym.
They do a very, very good job in this community, and we'll have to pause any moment for the national anthem. But yeah, a ton of excitement going into this game because both of these teams are excited to get the regular season started, get that bad taste in their mouth of being upset at the state tournament a year ago. They want to prove themselves.
Let's go ahead and go down to our PA announcer and
Waukee
the national
High School has committed itself to maintain the highest level of sportsmanship possible at all athletic events. To achieve this goal, Waukee High School is asking every Warrior fan to treat our visitors in the same manner we would like the Warriors to be treated when they're away from home. And secondly, for each of us to be courteous and considerate of our neighbors in the stands by what we do and what we say. Now, if you'd please rise and remove your hats as we honor our flag and our country with the singing of the national anthem tonight, presented by the Grant Reagan 5th grade chorus.
That'll get you set for some hoops here as the two teams will get to the bench, and we'll have the starting lineups in moments. As here's the thing, man. Even though this is a big community, we were talking to activities director for Waukee Schools, Jim Dewey, before the game. He told us this is the largest school by enrollment in the entire state this year. They will split into two high schools next year, but it still feels kind of like a small, close-knit community.
Well, I think, Emery, that just speaks to the sense of community that's alive in Waukee. I know that other sports want other sports to succeed, and I know Johnston has that as well. But, you know, as we sit here in Waukee and we sit in this gym, it really is a model community for how different groups come together and can support each other, whether that's athletically, academically, or in the arts.
Also, something that's kind of new to me is seeing a full-on hype video for each and every one of these. Oh, and we do have a pretty
little light show too.
Light show here. Yeah. So when we talk about this, you mentioned you did talk about it a little bit as the starting lineups are going to be announced. We'll recap those in moments once they get the starters on the floor. But you did mention there is some disappointment to what both of these teams had to deal with going into coming out of last year. They both thought state championship or bust. And what ended up happening was both of them got upset at various rounds, didn't even get to play for a state championship.
Yeah, you look at Johnston, I think they're probably the team that was a bit more upset. They were the #1 team going into that tournament. They lost in the state semifinals. Good thing for them. They had the great fortune to bring back two seniors, Maya McDermott and Kendall Need, that were integral on that team last year. But this is the year, Emery. Those are two seniors that are playing their final games here in a Waukee uniform this season, and this is their last chance to get that state championship and really build their legacy, a legacy that I'm sure will last at Johnston.
Starting lineups being announced for both teams. Let's go ahead and give you the starters.
Number 14, Peyton Kelderman. For the Dragons, number 30, Kendall Need. And for the Warriors, a 5'9" junior, number 34, Megan Ernie. And for the Dragons, number 40, Maddie Mock. And for the Warriors, a 5'11" junior, number 42, Taryn Reichma. Head coach of the Dragons, Mr. Chad Zillick. Head coach of the Warriors, Mr. Chris Guess.
All right, so those starting lineups for both teams. For the visitors from Johnston, it will be the senior, Maya McDermott. We know that she's going to fill it up. Kinsey Gillick, the junior, 5'10", along with Kendall Need. We talk about her. Anna Gosling, a sophomore. Need is a senior, by the way, at 5'11", and then Maddie Mock, a senior at 6 foot. The host team, the Waukee Warriors, it will be Lindsay Kelderman, the junior, 5'6". Katie Dinnebeer, she'll be getting some points as well, 5'8" for the junior. Peyton Kelderman's a name you're going to be hearing a lot tonight, also 5'8". She's a junior as well. Megan Ernie, she is a junior, 5'9". And then another junior, Taryn Reitzma, 5'11". So you have 5 juniors starting across the line for Waukee. Little bit of a mini delay here as they're trying to get a new net onto our right basket here. There was a little strand that was broken, so before we do anything, they want to get that fixed. Johnston wearing the black uniforms trimmed in white and purple. Johnston across the front. For Waukee, they're wearing white uniforms trimmed in purple. It says Warriors across the front. And the purple numbers on the front and the back. Crowds filled in very nicely. Early season action here. 2 ranked teams in 2 different games. It's going to be a fun one, John Hurl.
Well, Emery, we already talked about the sense of community. Of course, they're going to have they're going to be filling up the crowd, especially for a game this big, as we get set to tip off. Size advantage looks to be favoring Johnston in just the slightest. They do have Maddie Mock out there, and she's the only player on the court listed over 6 foot.
Lined up across from Taryn Reitzma, who's 5'11", and we'll tip it up. And it's Reitzma who gets the win, and we are underway. Waukee shooting our left hoop here to start things in the first quarter. We play 4 8-minute quarters in regulation. Over to the top, Lindsay Kelderman. She will set it up. Man-to-man defense being shown by Johnston on this first possession. On the far side, Ernie will hand it off. Lindsay Kelderman will set up the offense. Hand it off to Dinnebeer. Now over to the high right. Nice kick out. Kelderman fires a corner 3.
Yeah,
good.
We saw there Emery Maya McDermott had to cut inside to try to play help defense. That led Lindsay Kelderman wide open, and we have our first points of the game.
Yeah, excellent job, Ernie, on the pass. And now Johnston, their first offensive possession. McDermott drops it off over to the right side. Kendall Need, the senior, also one of the top scorers. And she'll pass this off of the leg of Peyton Kelderman. It'll stay here with the Dragons. You talked about it, John. You want to get the crowd active early if you're Waukee.
Well, a 3-pointer will do it, especially that corner 3 right here in front of the home crowd.
Inbound going to be Kendall Need. They get it to Maya McDermott, the 5'5" guard. 22.5 points per game so far. Lost it momentarily, able to pass it off. Gosling, just a sophomore. There is some youth here. Needle, fire a 3 from the right wing.
Need responds with a 3 of her own. She didn't look particularly open, Emery, but when you've got the confidence, I guess, thread it, and it's 3-3.
And she had a second, and she thought about it, and then buried it from the right wing herself. At the top, Lindsay Kelderman. Guarded closely by McDermott. Kelderman hands it off to Peyton Kelderman. Pass over to the right side. Reitzma to the block. Oh, nice
Good
pass.
cut there.
Beautiful pass on a cutting Peyton Kelderman, and she'll lay it in for 2. Movement without the ball, very key here, especially in a man-to-man defense.
Absolutely. Great job there by Kelderman to cut there. She's going to poke the ball away a little momentarily.
Yeah, Dinnebeer, man-to-man defense here as well. On the ever-dangerous Maya McDermott, they're picking her up at the half-court stripe, not letting her get into the offense at all. That's a good pass on a cut.
Great backdoor cut there.
Gillick is going to get credit for the points, and Need with a couple of excellent plays. Quickly the other way, Ernie fires a 3. Wow, a very strong start for both offenses here.
Well, 3 for 3 on 3.
Here's a
both
little
teams have
pull-up.
success.
Going to be rebounded by Gillick, and she'll kick it back out. McDermott, there it is. You're going to see that an awful lot. Waukee is going to have to neutralize that.
Make that 4 for 4 for 3 from both teams, and Maya McDermott's hot early. She's going to get a steal.
McDermott all the way. She will not drop it off. Left-handed layup is good. Holy cow, this is a fast pace to what has been a highly touted matchup in the early season, and it's 10-8 in favor of Johnston Waukee basketball. Kelderman, she drives. That's a tough shot, no good. Rebound tipped down and taken away by Gosling and the Johnston Dragons. McDermott, loses Dinnebeer.
Beautiful.
Oh, my.
Beautiful crossover there, losing the defender, stroking the 3. She's now up to 8 points for today.
That is not a move you see in the average high school gymnasium, boys or girls.
Yeah, that's a move that only one of the top players in the state can make, Emery.
Kelderman hands it off. Dennebeer back to Kelderman. Kelderman, that's a tough pass. It bounces out. It's going to be a catch and shoot. Dennebeer around and out, and McDermott will come out of there with the rebound, and she slapped as she breaks out of the – I mean, I'm incredibly impressed with Maya McDermott, and they've had maybe 4 or 5 offensive possessions here, John.
Yeah, you see, Emery, she got fouled there. She was taking the ball away. I actually think that might have been a good move, as there was clearly a path there to take that rebound and go coast to coast. Good job there to slow her down. It looks like they'll get them in the press. Yeah,
they're going to go full court here, just try to take this Johnston team out of their offense. 13-8, Johnston with the lead. Need, nice little cross. She'll run over a defender. That's a good positioning right there by Taryn Reitzma, who draws the charge. Need gets her first. By the way, on the other side, the foul was on Megan Ernie, who got called for the foul in the backcourt for the Warriors. Both teams just the 1 turnover so far. We've seen excellent offense executed by both sides as that pass is tipped. Into the corner is Kelderman. Thought about the 3, now steps in. Nice find to Reitzma. Good, strong defense, clean defense. Underneath, Ernie picks up the rebound. And kick it back outside. 3-point attempt is missed by Kelderman, and Need clears the rebound.
Johnston playing very aggressive defense early here. McDermott's going to put up another 3 and get another 3.
She is so automatic. Timeout going to be called by Waukee. We'll keep it here for the 30-second. Johnston on a big run here, a 10-0 run, and it's almost entirely Maya McDermott. The little miscommunication there on the handoff, and she was left alone on the right wing, and she does not think twice. One of your keys to the game was you got to guard her from outside in. She is going to kill you from outside. 3 made threes already in the game.
Well, Emery, we talked about it as we sit here, 16-8 Johnston in the league. You mentioned that's almost entirely on the back of McDermott, and she's 53% coming into today's contest.
And that's going up
and
by
that's
the shot.
Going up by every shot that we've seen tonight. Just a phenomenal job. She's shooting with confidence today, and she's been doing a good job, frankly, getting open despite the fact that they're picking her up so early.
You know, there are great players in this state. Over at Dowling Catholic, the number 4 ranked prospect in the entire 2020 class, Caitlin Clark, who's going to Iowa. I mean, she's the headline act, but I would not be sleeping on this young senior from Johnston, Maya McDermott. You can't teach shooting like what we've seen so far, as Waukee has it out of the timeout. Here, left wing, catch and shoot 3, that one's strong. Need another rebound. She has been active on the glass. She gets it to McDermott. He's going to hustle ahead. Dennebeer, the tough task of trying to guard her. The entry pass poked away nicely, though, and there's going to be a foul on Johnston. Credit Taryn Reitzma for getting her hand in there and forcing the turnover.
Yeah, that was a great job. Both teams are playing very aggressive defense, doing a good job getting the hands in the passing lanes, and we've already seen 5 or 6 tip passes that have caused a little bit of havoc so far in this first quarter.
Yeah, with 3:20 left, that foul was on Maddie Mock, the 6-foot senior. Waukee with the basketball. They need a bucket just to kind of slow down this Johnston momentum. A little hand check, I believe. We'll see where it's at, and they are going to get Kenzie Gillick. That's the 13th foul here on Johnston. First sub to the game, it'll be Zoe Buchan, a sophomore. She will come and grab another sophomore, Anna Gosling. Run underneath their own hoop. Waukee to trigger the inbound. Right back to Dennebeer. Dennebeer to the top. Reagan Bartholomew, who entered after the timeout. She's got it. Given plenty of space up top. Doesn't want to shoot it, though. Dennebeer, Kelderman. Drives to the left. Little kind of bottleneck offense.
Yeah, not a ton of movement on Waukee in this possession so far, and they might have to run a set-up play as they're going to lose the ball and turnover.
Yeah, Bartholomew just kind of lost it. There's just too many players in the same area. A lot of basketball analytics at the highest level, preaching spacing, and that's where will get you some open shots, and just not a lot of spacing on that possession from Waukee, and you got to credit the Johnston defense not giving anybody any space at all. High-low, good hands there by Kelderman, forcing another turnover. Offense is kind of succumbing to the defense the last few possessions. Down low, nice find, little strong, tipped back. Bartholomew, a little mid-ranger, no good, and we're going the other way.
Beautiful entry pass there to set up that shot, and after 2 attempts, Waukee can't get either one of them to go.
Mock outside, faces up, she'll fire from straight away, and she knocks it down, Maddie Mock.
Good shot there by Mock, feeling herself, shooting that one from 3, and that'll extend Johnson's lead even more.
Buchan gets called for the foul here. 4th team foul. Ernie will come back in replacing Reitzma. Mock came in 3 for 9 from downtown, so she has shown the capabilities to shoot it. That's the 3rd most attempts on the team coming in. So you're going to have to respect pretty much everybody outside that 3-point line if you are Waukee defensively.
Yeah, and when you shoot as many threes as they do, you really widen out the amount of defense that the other team has to play and widen out the court for yourself to get open looks.
McDermott got it. Tries to go inside again. She's not afraid of the risky pass either, and Waukee's done a good job of closing those gaps. Forcing a jump ball this time was Megan Ernie underneath.
Yeah, we already mentioned the fact that both defenses have been doing a good job getting hands on the ball and into passing lanes, and both teams, however, have also been trying to force some passes inside early so far this quarter.
Kinsey Gillick will exit back into the game. Is Anna Gosling for Johnston. McDermott picked up the dribble. Mock at the top, kind of faked the shot, tries to find Need underneath, does, left-hand little hook shot with somebody right in her face, able to get it to go down.
Yeah, and one of the reasons that Mock was able to make that entry pass is because her defender had to come so far out to guard her because she has to respect that 3-point shot.
Out on the wing, Waukee with the ball, looking to get some offense going. They've been stuck on 8 for a while. Oh, nice little dribble by Bartholomew, drops it off for Kelderman. Kelderman blocked, but they're going to get a foul over the top on Gosling. I thought Gosling was clean there, but she's going to get called for the foul, and I think this will be free throws. Good little hesitation move by Reagan Bartholomew.
Yeah, great by Bartholomew. She goes behind the back, sets up an open look down under, and they're going to end up getting foul shots out of it.
Kelderman this season so far, 6 of 7 from the line. That's 86%, makes the first. Much needed, even if it is a foul shot, just to get something on the scoreboard here.
Yeah, slow down a little bit.
Second one up, nothing but net. 4 for Kelderman in the early going.
Good possession there by Waukee to slow down the game. You know, they're already facing an 11-point deficit, down 21-10. And if you let McDermott keep taking those open threes, that's going to get even worse quickly.
Down low. Mock, a little up and under, but she is fouled on the step through.
Good job there by Mock, going up, getting the pump fake, and then coming back down under, and she'll get fouled as well.
So Mock will go to the line. Foul's going to be whistled on Megan Ernie. That's just the second foul. That's Reagan Bartholomew who got called for that foul. My mistake. Mock's first free throw, nothing but net. Mock this season, just 2 for 6 at the line coming in, but she looked like a seasoned free throw shooter there and does so on the second as well. 5 for her in the game so far.
Good job by Mock there, and if Johnston can keep hitting their free throw shots, it's going to be really hard for Waukee, who's already down 13 early, to come back in this one.
40 seconds left here in this first quarter. Bartholomew, left side, tries to go off the dribble. Nice little drive. Took advantage of the smaller Zoe Buchan.
Good job by Bartholomew. That's the second time that she's used a nice move to get around a defender and get an open shot.
Bartholomew ahead to Gosling. Gosling kicked out. Here's Buchan. 3-ball. Nothing but net. This is Zoe Buchan from off the bench.
And Johnston can't miss from outside of 3.
Nobody can.
Nobody can on either side, but Johnston's taking advantage of that 3-ball early.
Every person who's shooting the 3-ball, I don't know if they've missed a 3 as a team yet. A lot of contact, no call, need good defense. The rebound, Buchan.
Oh, great pass down court.
Gosling can't finish at the horn, but credit Buchan. Nice job there, and that'll do it for our first quarter. Johnston looking incredibly impressive, 26-12 over Waukee. We'll take a 1-minute timeout, come back with more. You're watching high school basketball right here on CISN.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, Lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
What a first quarter for the Johnston Dragons, the 4th-ranked team according to the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union rankings. They got a 26-12 lead over the 6th-ranked team, Waukee. I don't think Waukee is 14 points worse per quarter than Johnston, but, man, those three-point shots, McDermott with 11, Need hit a 3, Mock hit a 3, Zoe Buchan hit a 3. I mean, they were on fire from outside in that first quarter.
Emory, we mentioned it in our keys to the game that they were going to have to try to shut down McDermott from 3 or she was going to make him pay for it.
Lindsey Kelderman's second 3-ball for Waukee gets her back on the board, and that's the first made basket that Waukee has had outside the arc since I think her first 3 to start the game from the corner.
Which is weird because they seem to be shooting it well early, and I'm surprised that they haven't gone back, so I'm sure that was something that they realized after the first quarter and are going to be more intentional about doing that here in the second.
Another risky pass that's going to eventually be stolen away by Reitzma for Waukee, and they'll go the other direction. Quick leak out, Lindsey Kelderman. We got to tell you, Lindsey Kelderman was not the Kelderman that we thought we were going to be saying the name of an awful lot, and we still might not. Peyton Kelderman leads the team in scoring. Just haven't been able to get her a lot of space to get her shooting. Reitzma underneath, a little bit strong on the hook, and mock the rebound.
And that's the type of shot that you want if you're Reitz. She looked pretty open, but just unable to get it to go down under.
This 3, finally one that is missed, and we're going to get a jump ball on the rebound as it was Dennebeer for Waukee and Mock, who's got 4 solid inches on her. They both went up for the rebound. Checking in for the Warriors, sophomore Abigail Jones, 6 feet 2 inches she's listed. That can change things up when you have a player like that out on the floor with that length. She is guarding Gosling here out on the perimeter.
Yeah, and we'll see if that – obviously, we mentioned that Johnston doing a lot of scoring from beyond the arc, so maybe that'll take away the effectiveness of her size.
Peyton Kelderman comes out of there with the rebound on the missed 3 by Need. Kelderman with it, guarded by the taller Need. That's a tough matchup for her defensively. She's going to try to go up and under and does draw the foul on Kendall Need. You look at Need 5'11", you look at Kelderman 5'8", but when you watch them with the long arms that Need has, it just makes she look so much taller. That is a tough defensive matchup, and I really like what Chad Gillick, the head coach for Johnston, has done, try to take that leading scorer out of the game, kind of like we talked about in the open.
Fantastic. Yeah, you look at Need. She does have really length was the right word there that you used, Emory, on her opponents, and that helps her not only on defense, but she's been using it on offense as well, positioning her body well to receive an incoming pass into the lane and into the paint and setting herself up for some easy buckets down below.
First free throw is missed by Kelderman. Second one on the way. Got it, nothing but net. So she's 3 for 4 from the stripe. Does have 5 in the game. Need is going to bring it up. You have a 5'11" player who can bring it up the length of the floor and try to get your best score off the ball a little bit. That really helps the offense. But good defense here from Lindsey Kelderman, not letting McDermott touch the basketball. And then another steal by Reitzma underneath, her 3rd of the game so far.
Reitzma doing a great job so far this game, getting her hands in the passing lane and taking away those opportunities.
Ernie in the left wing. Back to the top to Lindsey Kelderman. Gets it over. Abigail Jones kind of gets stuck, just fires it toward the rim, but not the look that Waukee was looking for. Easy rebound for Mock, and here come the Dragons. Need lines up a 3 from the left wing. That's missed, but Mock flies in for the rebound, finds Need mid-range. That's too strong, and eventually Lindsey Kelderman comes out of there with it. Quickly the other direction. Ernie with the right hand. Timeout Johnston.
And now Waukee catching fire. We're hearing the crowd a little bit more. We talked about that. Waukee was going to want to get the crowd involved in the game early. Johnston doing a great job holding off that crowd in the first quarter. But they're coming back, Emory.
Just a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here for that. 5:39 left in this first half. Johnston 26-18, but a quick little 6-0 run for Waukee to start this second quarter, and we've finally seen some missed shots from outside for Johnston. You can't imagine that they're going to make every 3 they take, but when you make those threes with 4 different players making a 3 in the first quarter like we saw from Johnston, that just makes the Waukee defense have to respect it, and Waukee's done an excellent job making sure Maya McDermott doesn't get an open look. She hasn't even really had a chance to touch the basketball here recently.
Well, no, they haven't, Emory, and that's exactly how they drew it up at the end of that first quarter, how they wanted to come back in the second quarter. Now it's 26-18, and they feel a lot better about themselves than they did at the end of that first.
Needle bring it up for Johnston. Picked up by Reitzma. 1-on-1, right wing. Oh, a spin move, left-hand hook. Wow.
You can't guard that, Emery. That spin
What
move
do you do?
And going up with the left hand. That's just a good play by Need and using her athletic ability.
Bartholomew, another behind the back. Gets stopped this time, however. Over to Dennebeer. Outside, Bartholomew steps in. 15-footer.
Emery, I really like the way Bartholomew dribbles the ball and gets herself open. She has a really good handle on the ball. She's able to get past her defender and create open looks for herself.
For Johnston. That's a wide pass. Kinsey Gillick fires that one into the stands. Maddie Mock had about, 20 seconds on the bench. She's right back in. She gets Kendall Need here. That's the 6th Johnston turnover, just 2 for Waukee. But Johnston still has that 28-20 lead. And they had 6 made threes in that first half, or the first quarter, if I am not mistaken. So 3 ball slowed down a little bit. Waukee's able to get back in the game, looking to try to trim this lead even further. Here's Bartholomew again. A lot of contact. McDermott did a good job helping there, and that'll be a jump ball, and it'll stay down here with Waukee. McDermott kind of helped off there as there was a handoff, and McDermott in good position was able to reach in there and knock the ball away.
Yeah, we've been talking about the defense all day for both teams doing a good job being feisty.
Very handsy. Kelderman just kind of walks back to the three-point line, not challenged, but a little bit short on the three-point shot attempt. And the rebound is tipped out of bounds. It will go to Johnston.
In the Johnston lineup, 32, Natalie Carey.
So Natalie Carey, a 5'7" junior for the first time in the matchup, will check in. Both teams, it's early on. Teams trying to find their basketball legs. You might see teams go a little bit deeper to the bench here early this season than they might later on this year as McDermott loses the dribble. Bartholomew comes out of there with the steal. She's going to push it all the way by herself. Left-handed layup. Look at Reagan Bartholomew, the sophomore, on fire here.
Nice play by Bartholomew there. Another good dribble move and setting herself up for another score.
That one a little bit strong off the glass, and Bartholomew is going to get the rebound off the McDermott miss.
McDermott playing a little bit fast. I'd like to see her slow down a little bit as Bartholomew is going to go up again.
And she's going to get a foul. Man, you want a spark plug off the bench. We talked about it a little bit. There's your spark plug, Reagan Bartholomew, and she'll go to the line to shoot too.
We talked earlier in this game about how Waukee was a balanced team, not very top-heavy in terms of scoring, and I think Reagan Bartholomew is the perfect example of that.
First free throw around and in for Bartholomew. She's really kept this offense afloat while Kelderman and Katie Dennebeer kind of struggled. Dennebeer hasn't scored a point yet. Back into the game here is Abigail Jones. This season, Bartholomew averaging 10 points per game, but has shot an awful lot of shots. Most shot attempts on the team, even though she's coming off the bench. And she's 2 for 2 from the line here. So 8 already for her, well on her way past her season average. And we got a new ball game here, 28-24. Waukee has trimmed the deficit as McDermott flying from the backcourt. Again, just a little strong, and the rebound taken, and it'll be a jump ball. That's a tough call on the box out by Ernie, but give credit where credit's due to Maddie Nelk. The freshman reached her arm in there and forced the jump. That'll keep it down here with the Dragons.
Good job by Nelk there. We'll see what Johnston comes for their inbound play.
Oh, what a drop-off pass. Oh, just short. Got stuck too far underneath was Natalie Carey. And Jones clears the rebound.
Mock's not going to get the assist for that play, but that was a beautiful pass.
It's just tough luck. And then McDermott a little bit aggressive in the backcourt, and that'll set up bonus time. That's the 8th team foul on Johnson, first on McDermott, and that'll send Kelderman back to the line.
You kind of get the sense that McDermott wants to start up the offense again as they've kind of been sputtering here in the second quarter. She's been playing really, really aggressive on offense and as defense like you saw there.
Well, she's shooting a better percentage from outside the arc. She is inside the arc right now as there's another careless pass stolen by Jones. You mentioned she's trying to make too much happen right now. She's a great player, but just doing a little too much is Bartholomew misses a shot, eventually gets her own rebound, pulls it back out, kick out. Dennebeer still scoreless, trying to get things going, and she'll find Peyton Kelderman. Kelderman working on McDermott. McDermott, forces the travel. It's good defense by McDermott there, staying in front of the dangerous Peyton Kelderman as Zoe Buchan comes back into the game. She'll get McDermott her first rest of the matchup. So Waukee's trying to trim it down to a one-score game here. And this Johnston defense has clamped down the last couple possessions. Oh, it's close to being tipped off of the hand of Buchan. Good defense by Dennebeer, but they will rule it Johnston ball.
Really what I think's happened here in the second quarter is just a great tightening of the defense by Waukee, not letting Johnston do what they were doing in the first half and what they want to do. We'll have another tipped away, and great press defense by
Dennebeer
Waukee.
twice in a row nearly has stolen or forced a turnover on the inbound pass.
And press defense is all about hustle.
And the freshman Nelk really having a hard time getting this ball inbounded, and eventually does get it inbounded to Gosling. Gets it ahead, Nelk over to the corner. Here's Buchan, a step back three. Off the peel of the rim. Look at Mock. Lost it off the leg of a Waukee defender, and it'll stay down here. Mock already 6 rebounds so far in the game.
And when Johnston broke that press, it looked like they had the numbers advantage, but they went out, took the three. Buchan trying to cut it down to a 1-point game, unfortunately, or trying to extend the lead, Fortunately, couldn't do it. Underneath
here is Jillick, and her pass slips out of her hand and stolen by Dennebeer. She worked for a steal, couldn't get it, and eventually does get it. And now on the other end, Bartholomew draws a foul.
Bartholomew once again getting an easy shot. Bartholomew's not shooting threes. She's just driving into the lane and creating for herself. Really good to see there from someone coming off the bench.
Just a sophomore, Reagan Bartholomew, and she's really forced her team to come back. A little strong here on the first free throw, though, and Waukee's been stuck at this 4-point deficit for a while now as Jones comes out. Kelderman, Lindsay Kelderman, that is, re-enters, and Maya McDermott right back in as well. She'll come and grab Anna Gosling.
Safe to say both teams have definitely cooled here with 2:45 left in the second.
It was guns a-blazing for Johnston in the first quarter, and then the first half of this second quarter, Waukee really brought it up as Bartholomew will take a seat after making the second free throw. She's got 9 off the bench. She'll be replaced here by Taryn Reitzma, who's already got 3 steals, very active defensively so far.
Makes it a 1-possession ball game as Johnston will get the ball.
McDermott's got it, and she will bring it up. Need not in the ball game, so McDermott will take the point guard duties over. Outside the volleyball line, now gets doubled. Will she find the open player? She finds Buchan. Buchan down to Mock, and they're going to say a traveling violation. That's an excellent job defensively by Waukee.
Excellent job defensively. They got the double on McDermott far off near the free throw line, or near the volleyball line, McDermott does a pretty good job getting the pass in, but then they recover from that. Phenomenal job by Waukee.
All 5 players were in the right spot when that play was developing. As Need immediately comes back in to get an extra ball handler on the floor for Johnston against that Waukee press. Here's Dennebeer into the corner. Kelderman down low, nice find. Reitzma short, gets her own rebound. Power dribble, short again, gets it back, has it blocked. It comes out, taken by Kelderman.
Reitzma using her size down below to get a couple attempts at that shot. Unfortunately for her, neither one could go.
Here's Kelderman again, looking for the offense to run. She'll get a screen, pass it over. Reitzma, Dennebeer. She'll get a screen into the middle. 1:50 left here in the first half. Waukee down by 3 with the ball. Looks like Dennebeer wants to take Mock one-on-one. Has a size disadvantage, but maybe a quickness edge. We'll see what she takes. They clear it out for her.
Coach Guest seems to be calling out a play for her.
Well, she's going to kick it back to the top. Kelderman. Johnston kind of switched into a little zone look there and kept another player in that area. That's a tough bounce pass. Somehow finding it was Dennebeer, and Reitzma dug it out nicely. We're sitting in a spot where we can see exactly what she was looking at. It didn't look like anything was there. What a pass from Dennebeer to set up the foul.
Great job by Dennebeer to create something offensively as we're going to have a couple foul shots by Waukee.
That foul was on Buchan. That's her second. And again, Waukee kind of struggling here recently from the line as they continue to try to cut into this lead, as that was the first free throw for Reitzma in the game. So far this season, Reitzma, that's her only free throw of the season. Her second one coming up. And that one's off the mark as well. Mock comes out with the rebound. That's her 7th of the matchup so far. Buchan quickly the other way, picked up by Lindsay Kelderman. And she is stuck, nowhere to go with it. Timeout called by Johnston. Right about as the same time that a 5-second call was going to be called. We'll keep her here for the 30-second timeout. So Johnston, after putting up 26 in the first quarter, has scored only 2 points in this second quarter. And it's not that they haven't had some looks from outside. It's just the percentages kind of setting themselves up. I mean, you're not going to make every shot.
Yeah, Emery, I think what we've done here in the second quarter is really settled by both teams. So Johnston's definitely settled into their averages, really cooled down. And Waukee, even despite climbing back, it hasn't been like a run. You know, they came back with a run in the beginning of the quarter, but they've been struggling too offensively as both teams have tightened up their defenses. And so it's really been a puncher's match here the last 3-4 minutes.
It is Johnston ball. Need, McDermott, Gillick, Mock, and Buchan out there. The 5 for Johnston. For Waukee, it's the 2 Keldermans, Dennebeer, Ernie, and Reitzma, the 5 starters out there for the Warriors. This is a chance out of the timeout. They had something drawn up for this possession, try to get something on the board. 60 seconds left. McDermott tries to lose Dennebeer, can't. Gets it over to Need. Need, probing. Comes down. Good job, but they're going to call a foul on Kelderman on the reach. That's just the 13th foul, though, on Waukee, whereas we're already in the double bonus on Johnston's side. Waukee's done an excellent job getting plenty of steals and forcing 10 turnovers while only committing now 3 fouls. That's the first on Kelderman.
Yeah, Kelderman doing a great job getting her hands on the ball. They're going to call it for the foul.
On the inbound, it looks like they're going to get Ernie for her second. Ernie's going to take a seat, and here Reagan Bartholomew's had an excellent first half with 9 points, a couple of rebounds and a steal. She's going to be on the floor here for the last minute for Waukee. Mock right back to Need, the inbounder. Loses it, dribbled it off her foot, stolen away by Kelderman.
We'll see here if Waukee holds up and tries to hold for a final shot of the half.
Out in the circle, Dennebeer still haven't scored yet. She loses Need, little pump fake. Just a little bit
Good
short.
Pump fake there to get her in the air.
She gets her own rebound, though, but then the ball eventually is knocked away out of bounds, and it'll be a turnover. That's just the 4th Waukee turnover. Dennebeer got herself in good position, but again, we've seen it underneath multiple times from multiple players for both sides, just a little bit too far underneath the rim to give themselves an angle to bank the shot in.
Yeah, I think both teams have done a pretty good job getting underneath the basket, but like you mentioned, they're a little bit too deep in the paint. Look for them to kind of pull back and try to get a better look.
Doubling McDermott as soon as she gets across half court. Here's Gosling. She'll step back right wing. 3! Gosling. Her first basket. 10 seconds left. Here comes Dennebeer. Bartholomew, a 3. Not this time. Rebound. Reitzma knocked away. And time will expire before Waukee can get a shot up. But a huge shot to end the half by Anna Gosling, the sophomore's first points of the game, extends Johnston lead to 31-25. They were stymied for most of that for that second quarter, but we're able to get that final 3 to go. We'll go ahead and step aside. When we come back, we'll have the halftime show for you, including a very special interview coming up right here on CISN.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game, Shields.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health.
We're back here at the half. Johnston girls ranked 4th in the state, off to a hot start, led by as many as 16 early. Now they only lead by 6, 31-25 over 6th-ranked Waukee, live from the Waukee Fieldhouse. We have the astute pleasure to be joined by Gary Ross, the Assistant Director of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Early season matchup here, Gary. A couple of great teams that we saw at Wells Fargo Arena last year. What brings you out to Waukee Fieldhouse here in the early going this season?
I try to make my rounds, watch good basketball throughout the season. So last night went to Southeast Polk Dowling and thought it'd be a great night to come to watch Johnston at Waukee.
Well, you got 2 ranked teams. One thing that I love about the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, very transparent in the way that the rankings work. Nothing really surprises you when you get to regional play. The way that things go, you can kind of see where teams are ordered in the rankings. What has been kind of the reaction for this total year for girls sports, because it has been ultra competitive in every single state tournament that we've been to?
You know, I think that just shows to the level that our girls sports are right now. The Iowa girl is at a high level. Kids work extremely hard. They play hard, well coached. Just a lot of fun throughout the state. I think it's been really exciting to see the growth of our girls sports.
Yeah, and speaking of girls sports, the dance team here at Waukee out there performing, state champion Waukee varsity dance team, one of the premier dance programs in the state. Now, when we talk about basketball, one of the things with especially a school like Waukee, which has grown leaps and bounds now, the split is going to happen next year. I mean, it might be too early to assess this, but overall, when a school splits like this, kind of how does the Iowa Girls Athletic Union kind of work to try to measure what classification these schools will get and how they will kind of line up? Will they play each other an awful lot, especially when it comes to regional play?
You know, with the regular season, obviously they'll determine the conference that they're in, and at least as far as I know, the plan is to be in the CIML, so they'll obviously be playing each other through that. At this point, I'm not sure if they'd be in the same division or a different division. But in reality, at the time they split, they're going to be similar in enrollment, and our classification is based on the enrollment. So the likelihood and probably reality of it is they'll both be in the large 5A class in basketball, for example. And Waukee's just done a great job of developing the program. Chris Guess and his staff do a great job with their camps and the clinics, and so there's a great deal of interest. And so my really thought would be once they do split, they're going to be 2 very strong programs.
Yeah, this isn't the first time we saw this. Ankeny Centennial splitting as well. We kind of see over in Iowa City with Iowa City Liberty splitting recently with more of the Iowa City West than City High. But just generally, what is one thing that you want people to know about the way that you guys do business with the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union?
Well, I think the first thing I guess that I want to stress is we really are trying to do what's best for our youth, for our girls in our programs, and we never are satisfied with how things are done. We always want to look at if there's a different way, a better way to do things, and so we're trying to always look at what we can do. We're member schools. We work for our schools. We try to listen to them, and we try to make what we believe is the best decisions based on what's best for kids.
Gary Ross, Assistant Director, Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Sir, always a pleasure. Have fun watching some more hoops tonight.
Very good. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
We'll step aside. We'll come back. More halftime action. Johnston leading Waukee 31-25 right here on CISN.
Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. Kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
We know you have choices where you buy and service your next vehicle. At Schottenkirk Chevrolet, our core values make the difference. Hard work, always working to exceed your expectations. Trust, we accept the challenge to earn yours. Honesty, it's non-negotiable. Integrity, everything we do is guided by our core values. Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee, let us prove to you why we're different.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Fall is upon us and fireplace season is here, and you need a new Heat and Glow gas fireplace insert. They're the perfect thing to make that old wood fireplace more beautiful, warmer, and easier to use. And right now, Heat and Glow is giving a $200 rebate, making it even easier for you to upgrade that old fireplace. Please come see them today, Fireplace Superstore, 109th and Douglas in Urbandale.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
It's halftime, 31-25 is the score. Johnston with a 6-point lead. A couple of interesting notes. Maya McDermott, 11 quick points, including 3 threes for Johnston. Got them off to a huge start, led by, my count, as many as 16. That lead was trimmed to as little as 3 and is 6 at the halftime break. She leads all scorers with those 11 points. 7 for Kendall Need, 5 for Maddie Mock. On the other side, Reagan Bartholomew off the bench, a spark plug to say the least. 9 points for her, 6 points for Lindsay Kelderman, 5 for Peyton Kelderman. Katie Dinnebier, who came in for Waukee, averaging about 13 a game, yet to score a point. We'll see what she can add in the second half, but she has been energetic and especially defensively has drawn a couple of tough assignments, including being tasked with guarding Maya McDermott. What did you see the difference, though, between the Johnston offense that put up 26 points in the first quarter and the Johnston offense that only put up 6 points, or 5 points rather, in the second quarter?
Well, Emery, I think it's two things. Number one, they weren't as hot. The ball just wasn't going in the basket as frequently as it was. They seemed to be getting similar types of looks, but they were missing more shots in the second half. That's number one. But number two, the Waukee defense did a great job tightening up, really good job getting their hands in the passing lanes, and they came out and played a bit more perimeter defense to shut down the three.
11 turnovers for Johnston, just 4 for Waukee. Johnston committed over 10 fouls. Waukee only committed 4 fouls. So we'll see if Johnston clean up the turnovers, see if Waukee can keep playing as clean as they did. Maybe some of these shots that we saw, including at the free throw line, missed a lot of free throws late in that second quarter that would have potentially tied the game up. We'll see if that changes, see if Johnston's offense can find that and reignite that offense that we saw in the first quarter. But also, will that foul situation come back to bite them? A lot of players, they have 3 different players with 2 fouls from that first half. We'll see if anybody, specifically Kendall Need and Maddie Mock, who both have 2 fouls as well, if that limits them at all in the second half. We'll go ahead and take one more break, come back, second half action. Johnston leading Waukee 31-25, girls basketball on CISN.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving Northwest and Central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
Second half about to begin. 4th-ranked Johnston leading 6th-ranked Waukee 31-25, a tale of 2 quarters. We have a ball game here. My name is Emery Songer. I'm alongside John Earl, Central Iowa Sports Network, our entire crew. First of our 2 games, we have a ranked matchup, number 2 Waukee taking on number 8 Johnston in the nightcap. Very excited to see what happens there, but first we have a second half to play in girls basketball. It'll be Waukee basketball, the white uniforms trimmed in purple. They will be shooting over at our right hoop here in the second half, while Johnston in the black uniforms trimmed in white, they will shoot at our left hoop. Both teams came out with their starting lineups. Waukee with the ball. Lindsay Kelderman with it, finds Katie Dinnebier, gets it to a nice job by Megan Erning. She's got 7 after the little drive and lay-in. The other starters, Taryn Reitzma and Peyton Kelderman, out there for Waukee. For Johnston, it'll be Maya McDermott, Kinsey Gillick, Anna Gosling, Kendall Need, and Maddie Mock. Those are your 5 starters, as Need has it at the volleyball line. They only scored 5 points in the second quarter. 3 of them came on Gosling's three-pointer, but she misses this one. Dennebeer the rebound. Over to Kelderman. Catch and shoot 3. Bounced off. Reitzma, a good offensive board, but again comes up short. Gets her on board. Power dribble, goes up and draws a foul. Needs third.
Reitzman's been doing a fantastic job all day of getting that rebound, but unfortunately for her, she hasn't been able to get the shot up and in. That's probably her 4th or 5th attempt from underneath the basket. She hasn't been able to get go.
Reitzma to the line. Did miss the first 2 that she took earlier in the game, but does get this one to go. That's her first point, but like you mentioned, has been super active inside. Sometimes you're just a little too close, and when you have the long arms of Kendall Need, it doesn't make it any easier. Second shot, Reitzma 2 for 2, and this is as close as Waukee has been in a while. They are within 2 at 31-29.
Good job by Waukee figuring out those free throw woes that they had at the end of that first half.
Oh, McDermott loses Dennebeer for a moment and buries the triple.
That was almost identical to a play she had in the first quarter, losing the defender on the brilliant crossover and then coming back and hitting the 3.
Dennebeer just fires herself coast to coast all the way down the floor and draws another foul. The fouls continue to pile up. That is the 3rd foul on Maddie Mock. So both bigs, Kendall Need and Maddie Mock for Johnston, 3 fouls, and we have 7 minutes left in this third quarter as Dennebeer still can't get off the schneid, misses the first free throw.
It's absolutely something to work on. We've talked all day about what a great job Maddie Mock has been doing. If she gets in foul trouble and she needs to take a seat, that could be a Waukee's opportunity to come away and start to get a lead in this game.
Second one is good from Dennebeer. And now McDermott, after the risky play by Dennebeer in the backcourt, but then she's going to force a turnover. Look at Dennebeer all over the floor defensively. And for Johnston, their 12th turnover of the game so far, to just 4 for Waukee.
Well, Emory, they're still up 4 points. Most of that due to the phenomenal work they did early in the first quarter. But, yeah, like you mentioned, the turnovers starting to pile up and the fouls starting to pile up for Johnston.
We'll see how that foul situation, both of their big players down low with 4 fouls. And Kelderman, I think she was looking for contact. None came, and then they turned it over. The steal for McDermott. Outside, Mock a 3.
Similar elements to what we saw in the first quarter with Mock hitting an open 3. That's something she did early on.
Timeout Johnston after the made 3. They're up 7. We'll take a break, come back with more third quarter action right after this on CISN.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
6:20 left, third quarter. Johnston starting to find the range again. 3s by Maya McDermott and Maddie Mock have given them a 7-point lead after Waukee trimmed it down to 2 points. Here's Ernie, my mistake. Megan Ernie with the ball. Over to Kelderman. Still pestered by Need. That has been a tough matchup for Peyton Kelderman throughout this game. Kelderman probes into the middle, gets stopped, kicks it out. Ernie an open 3 right wing off the heel of the rim, and it's going to be a foul on Dennebeer as she goes over the back of Maya McDermott. Dennebeer just number 1 for her. Foul situation really not a factor. Ernie does have 2, but that's the only player with multiple fouls for Waukee, whereas we have 2 players with 3 fouls, and those are big players, Kendall Need and Maddie Mock, a couple of senior leaders for this team. But Johnston still with it. Need drives in, goes right into the chest of Ernie, and draws the foul, and she'll have 2 free throws.
And we saw a similar play by Need earlier in the game, trying to get in, and she was actually picked up for a foul on a charge call. But here she'll go to the free throw line.
That was the third on Ernie. We'll see how that plays. She actually is in foul trouble now, and she will come out and be replaced by Bartholomew as Need's first free throw is missed.
If you're Waukee, I don't think you regret seeing Bartholomew back out on the court after the work she did in the first half.
Yeah, she's been excellent and maybe can buy you a few minutes so Ernie can get back out there later on, as that's in and out, and Bartholomew clears the rebound. 0 for 2 at the line for Need. Quickly the other way, Reitzma, good catch. Mock just couldn't get there in time. Good pass from Bartholomew.
Phenomenal job by Reitzma to fill her lane and get down the court quickly, beat everyone back, and was there for the open pass from Kelderman.
2 missed free throws lead to a fast break opportunity and bucket for Waukee, and we'll see what they can build off on this. Into the middle, Jillick. And that's a pass. Look at Kelderman, kind of like a defensive back in the NFL, kind of hide in the high weeds, come out of nowhere and pick up the steal.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a nice pass from McDermott down inside, but out of nowhere comes Kelderman.
Here's Bartholomew at the right elbow. We'll pull it back. And we'll look. Hand off. Dinnebeer to Kelderman. She'll go at Need. Has the whole side of the floor to herself. Tries to go up and under, can't, and it's knocked out of bounds the other direction.
Brave by Kelderman to drive inside when Need's the defender on her.
And they cleared it out for her so she could do something. They're trying to get her going. She has just 5 points, but Need has been the reason for that. She has just been so hard to get around, and with the long arms, that's a tough matchup for Peyton Kelderman.
Great game planning by Johnson head coach Chad Jillick.
Here's McDermott, drives in, little floater. 16 for her now. She starts getting it back going after 11 quick first quarter points. Dinnebeer gets the roll on the scoop. That's her first bucket in the game. 13 points per game average coming in.
Dinnebeer throwing that one up there didn't really look like a high percentage shot, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
McDermott off the dribble.
McDermott getting going here. She had that nice drive, a possession ago, and here she gets 3. That's a quick 5 points, and Johnston's up 42-34.
What do you do to that? I mean, she's doing it herself. She's creating that all by herself. It's with the dribble. She just loses players. Long 2 here from Bartholomew. That's long. Mock almost had it. McDermott saves it.
McDermott all over the court. She's on the defensive side there, saving that pass from going out of bounds.
Kick out to Need. To the top, Mock left open, hits a 3.
Mock's second 3 of the half pushes it to 45-34. That's a timeout, that's an 11-point lead.
I was feeling the timeout too. I mean, they got it rolling now. Here's Kelderman on the drive. She's fouled. Dinnebeer, another good little entry pass. But it happened so fast. It snowballed in the first quarter, and it's snowballing again here in the third. They cut it to 2 earlier this quarter, and with 3.5 left here, John, all of a sudden you look back up there and it's 11.
If you're Waukee here, you like to be at the free throw line, calm things down, try to get 2 more points here, regroup on defense, and game plan around Maya McDermott.
You're not stopping her. I mean, I think we've established that. 19 points. Second free throw up, off the mark. Long rebound pulled down by Gosling. 1 for 2 at the line for Kelderman. Here's McDermott. She's picked up again by Dinnebeer, who's done a good job for the most part on her. It's just McDermott and her ball handling skills. Now she catches and shoots. That one off the mark. Need and Bartholomew battling. It's going to be a jump ball. That'll stay down here with Johnston, but at least saves what would have been a putback layup by Need.
That McDermott shot, definition of a heat check there. She didn't seem to be particularly open, but she's feeling herself, and for good reason. Put that shot up there, and Johnston will keep the ball.
It'll be McDermott to inbound. Abigail Jones back into the game for Waukee, as is Megan Ernie. Little right-handed scoop on the left side of the hoop for McDermott, and she's got 21.
Great job using the dribble move to create another shot for herself.
This one inside. She hasn't had a lot of success inside the paint today, as there's a reach-in, and they're going to get McDermott on a reach-in foul, and she can't believe it. That's her second.
She's not happy about that.
That'll be the 4th team foul, I believe. So with 4 team fouls, that's actually her 3rd foul. I have a bad number here, so you got to keep an eye on that. McDermott playing with 3, as is Need and Mock. All have been major contributors and all have stayed out on the floor.
If you're Johnston, I can't imagine 3 players that you would want to have 3 fouls on them less.
We'll see if they can take care of themselves on this defensive end as Buchan is back in. She is guarding Peyton Kelderman now as they swapped it. Need with those 3 fouls. Don't want to keep her there. Look at Dennebeer. What a nice little dish to Reitzma.
Good job by Dennebeer there, getting the defender on her back and getting the entry pass in for Reitzma.
It hasn't bothered her that she's not scoring a lot of points, Dennebeer. She has done a great job creating for others. She's gotten a couple of fouls set up and free throws for her teammates. Here's Gosling, right corner 3. That one's short. Mock got a hand on it, kept it alive. It's still loose, and it'll be a jump ball. Waukee will have it this time. That's about the 4th or 5th jump ball that we've seen. Both teams very active here. You can't say this has been a sloppy game. I know that Johnston has 13 turnovers. We've seen quite a few fouls, but both teams have really defensively have amped it up all game long.
Yeah, and I've been using the word over and over again, tightening, but that's really what it is, Emery. Just doing a good job hustling. Those jitters that you had early on in the game are a little bit out of your system, and now they've really settled on defense.
Jones in the corner, goes down low. Reitzma catch and shoot over Mock. Can't do much with 3 fouls.
No, you can't. Maybe she would be more aggressive if she didn't have those fouls against her, but she had to hold back a little bit there, and that allowed Reitzma to score.
Here's Need. She's going right at Ernie, who's got 3 fouls. Miss, rebound to Reitzma. She's got 8 points and 6 rebounds. Really gotten it going here in the 3rd.
Need maybe forcing one there a little bit.
Just trying to get that 4th foul and try to get Ernie maybe a 4th foul and get her out of the game for a while. That's what I'm guessing. Good job by Ernie, though, staying strong and not committing the foul. Here's Jones. Hands it off. Kelderman picked up by Buchan. Kelderman hands it off. Now Ernie's going to go. Turnabout's fair play, but good defense by Need as well. And Mock another rebound. Quick the other way. Somehow McDermott catches it, goes up and scores. What a pass from Mock.
Great pass by Mock, but McDermott beating everyone back on the fast break.
And then a missed pass there will be an over and back, and that's just the 6th turnover for Waukee, but these are the dangerous times where you don't want to give Johnston free possessions.
And Emery, Waukee's been really, really consistent. They're scoring points at about the same clip. They're playing good defense, but Johnston has just been so streaky today, having hot streaks and cold streaks, and right now they're on a hot one, and they're currently up 10 points.
Got to get some check-ins here. Jillick back in for Johnston. Mock comes out. Molly Nelk back in. She'll get Need. So for a minute here, we're going to be without the 2 bigs with those 3 fouls for Johnston. McDermott's got it. She's hesitation to Jillick. Right back to her. She'll fire another. This one misses. Look at Ernie with the rebound, and she's fouled on it.
And when you look at that shot by McDermott, you may think, that's not very high percentage. Maybe you want to get into your offensive set a little bit more and take that. But I'm actually completely fine with McDermott taking that shot if I'm her head coach. Because exactly, like you said, why not? She's a great three-point shooter, and the more shots that she can get up, I think the better.
If it's not getting blocked, I think it's a fine shot. As long as you're within half-court range, she has shown that she can knock them down. Waukee ball, looking to try to cut it in, but they're going to get an illegal screen on Ernie, and that's how she'll pick up her 4th.
Yeah, that's tough. You never want to get that 4th screen on something when you're on offense, or the 4th foul, excuse me, on an offensive foul, and she'll have to come out of the game.
3rd team foul here for Waukee. So Taryn Reitzma will come and get her. Probably won't see Ernie for a bit here with 34 seconds left. And now Need will come back in, as will Mock. Get the best offensive group you can out there if you're Johnston. Try to get this more than the 10-point lead it is right now.
And they've started to double McDermott even earlier, it looks like, Waukee.
Hand check. Bartholomew get called for it on Nelk, just kind of slicing through the lane. Bartholomew second. It'll be an inbound, though, because it's just the 4th team foul, no free throws yet. 25 seconds to go here in this 3rd quarter, rather. Back to the wing is McDermott.
And I would be surprised if Johnston didn't just sit on this ball here up 10 and try to get it out of the quarter.
Well, McDermott dribbles around. There comes the double team. Here's Gosling. And they'll get it back to Nelk. Deep 3. That one just short, or long rather. With 5 seconds left, here's Kelderman. Takes a peek. Mock's on her. Doesn't have an angle to get a shot up, and they will not get a shot up before Kelderman can get that one up in the air. An interesting 3rd quarter, but Johnston extends the lead. It's a 10-point game. Johnston leading Waukee 49-39 right here on CISN.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it. to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury, whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Headed to the fourth quarter, fourth-ranked Johnston, a 49-39 lead over sixth-ranked Waukee. 23 points for Maya McDermott, and that's with her not scoring at all in the second quarter. Definition of really just streaky, you could say. There are a lot of different terms that you could use, but I mean, it's really just been combustible, honestly, the offense. It happens so quickly. And Johnston with the ball here to start this fourth quarter. And McDermott's going to try to start it with another three.
And Emery, she could have driven in there and taken an easy two. She had an easy path to the basket, but she'll step back for three and get one more.
Yeah, why not get an extra point while you're at it? Little turnaround from Bartholomew. Nicely done.
If you look at Waukee, I think Bartholomew might be the brightest spot on your roster so far today. Just a surprise off the bench to get that much production.
Reitzma the steal as Need loses the handle. Kelderman right wing, that one off the mark. Reitzma the offensive board, has it partially blocked by McDermott, finds Bartholomew the little bunny shot.
Waukee refusing to go away even after that three early on in this quarter.
Well, it's 52-43. They actually trimmed a point off of the lead in the first minute. Mock has been a good three-point shooter, but decides to pull it back and get it to McDermott. Dennebier all over her. Here's Need, guarded by Bartholomew. And that pass a little wide of the mark. Somehow McDermott gets it. Left-handed scoop. What?
Three-pointer the old-fashioned way for McDermott, showing she can fill it up from outside the arc and from inside the arc. And that's just finishing.
She's unstoppable. Free throw is good. She's got 29. That shot defies logic there. I mean, that pass led her too far. There were two players around her. She drew the foul, and then she just flips it up with her left hand, and it goes in. Dennebier outside Waukee. I mean, how do you answer these punches on the defensive end? I have no idea, but Dennebier going with a little scoop, misses, gets it right back. She's been feisty through this one, finds Kelderman for the lay-in.
Good job by Kelderman getting two of those points back, because it's now a 10-point ball game, but just Johnston just being hot and cold, streaky. This has been a long streak that they've been on so far, sustained it through from the third quarter.
Looking on an entry pass. It's going to be on that loose ball. They're going to get Reitzma. Her second team. That's her second foul and a sixth team foul, so we'll get to the one-and-ones next. Abigail Jones comes in. We'll grab Reitzma for a moment. 55-45, Johnston with the 10-point advantage. McDermott to trigger the inbound. She'll get it right back. Thought about it, but we'll get back to the top of the key. Over to the right side, Gosling. And it's been a team effort. While McDermott has 29 points, everybody else has contributed, as you see Gosling on the floater. And that was all her doing as well. She's got 5 in the game. Dennebier leaves it. Bartholomew a 3. Yeah. You're right, John. I mean, 16 points for the young sophomore. I mean, you got to be really happy with what you're seeing from her.
Yeah, Bartholomew, you mentioned she's a sophomore, but she looks so comfortable on the court, whether she's taking shots or whether she's dribbling the ball. You can just see this level of calmness about her that's really helped her be successful today.
McDermott to the top and Gosling. Gonna have to get some stops. You're trading points with a really good Johnston team, and that's great, but you're down by 9 points right now as Need can't get the roll. Rebound underneath by Jones. Quickly into the corner. Here's Kelderman, an open look. Hasn't had a lot of those, but this one off the mark. Rebound to Mock, and that is the double-double for her. And all by herself is Need as they break the press.
Great job snowbirding there by Need. And it looked like Waukee was trying to get in their press but couldn't get there in time. And that's an easy 2 for Johnston.
Wide pass here. Gives it right back to Jonston. McDermott will slow it down. Her team leads by 11 with 4:45 and counting to go. And out of bounds. It ran out of room up here on the near side. Gillick did. 15th turnover, and it'll be a timeout for Waukee, and it'll be a full. We'll take a break. 59-48, Johnston, 11-point lead right here on CISN.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules. They're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health.
We know you have choices where you buy and service your next vehicle. At Schottenkirk Chevrolet, our core values make the difference. Hard work, always working to exceed your expectations. Trust, we accept the challenge to earn yours. Honesty, it's non-negotiable. Integrity, everything we do is guided by our core values. Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee, let us prove to you why we're different.
59-48, Johnston keeps Waukee at bay. Waukee has come at him pretty solid here in the fourth quarter. The difference is they haven't been able to stop Maya McDermott and company, I should say, because it's not just her. I mean, Need's got 9, you got Mighty Mock's got 11, and then you got players like Anna Gosling who's hit a 3, a couple buckets. Zoe Buchan's hit a 3. Automatically, real quick shot from Abigail Jones on a 3, missed. Dennebeer another rebound. She has really mucked it around and has done a great job. Gets it over for the 3 for Lindsay Kelderman, who's got 10.
Clearly, the coming out of the timeout, the message was shoot as many threes as you can.
If you're open, take it. Here's McDermott. Look at her fly through the defense. Leaves it for Gillick.
Like a hot knife through butter. McDermott down the court, sets up the easy points for Gillick, and
Kelderman answers with a 3. We've been waiting for that. She's got 10 now. Knocked out of bounds on the inbound. It'll stay with Johnston, but here we go. Amped up now. It's a 7-point game. Gosling out. Buchan comes in. You got to get a couple more stops if you're Waukee because you still have 4 minutes left here.
Yeah, Waukee got a real shot of adrenaline out of that timeout. They're playing so much faster, hustling hard since the TO.
Here is Buchan, able to break the press by herself. Gets it to Gillick in the short corner. Somehow finds the cutting Need. Reverse lay-in. I mean, that's such a tough play. Here's a 3 from Lindsay Kelderman, missed. Ball on the deck. Buchan's got it, but they're going to say a jump ball to stay with Waukee. The offensive execution by pretty much everybody in black has been unbelievable. They're making the right passes. I know they've turned it over 15 times, but you got to give credit to Waukee's defense in a lot of those cases. With great Waukee defense, they are executing so well no matter where they are on the floor.
And it's so weird, Emery. You mentioned the foul discrepancy. You mentioned the turnover discrepancy by Johnston, but they're still up 63-54 here with just under 3:30 left in the ball game. And that's all just been hot offensive streaks that they've been on. Waukee's been really consistent and really, frankly, conservative. They'll turn the ball over.
Yeah, that little attempt at a shot didn't work out. It slipped out of the hand of Dennebeer. Going the other direction.
And now here with about 3 minutes left in this lead, you wonder if Johnston will kind of try to hold the ball. No shot clock, obviously, in Iowa high school basketball. So they're at the advantage here being up.
Peyton Kelderman gets her second foul called. It'll be a 1-and-1 here for McDermott. Not the player that you would say is who you'd want to be at the free throw line. As Ernie will come back in. She sat this entire fourth quarter with 4 fouls. She'll come and get Reitzman here for the moment. But you got to extend the game. You don't want to foul McDermott, but she's going to have the ball in her hands. Front end of the 1-and-1 rolls home, and she's got 30. Well, what were our keys to the game?
Well, Emery, if we review,
Waukee.
we talked about Waukee's keys to the game was perimeter defense on McDermott and getting the crowd involved early. On both of those aspects, Johnston did a great job not letting them accomplish those goals. McDermott was great from three from early on. She had a little bit of a quiet second quarter, but her third and fourth, she was right back. And the crowd never really had the chance to get into it because Waukee hasn't had a lead since real early with 1 minute into the first quarter of the game.
Traveling violation, good defense again on the interior for Johnston, and now Waukee up against it, down by 11 with under 3 minutes to play. And I'm just so impressed. I mean, Waukee is going to be a great team, and they're going to win a lot of games this year, but Johnston is going to be a tough team to beat. The fact that Cedar Falls has a win over them already this season tells you how good Cedar Falls is, but this Johnston team, if they play like this, they're going to be a tough out. Buchan, they run a little four corners look here, just passing it all around the floor, spreading it out. Everybody's outside the three-point arc. Need now will drive, kick it out to Jillick. 2:20 to go with each passing second. Win probability going up here for Johnston. Buchan in the corner. Look at Buchan dancing around a couple defenders. Leaves it for Need in the middle. Finds a cutting Jillick. A little strong. Gets her own rebound and kicks it back out. Wow. Buchan is fouled on a block, and she'll go to the free throw line. How about Zoe Buchan? 5 feet 4 inches tall, just a sophomore. That little dribbling exhibition down on the baseline, very impressive.
Yeah, looking comfortable with the ball. You mentioned another one of the sophomores out here that's not playing like one, as she'll be at the free throw line. Chance to put her team up even more.
Hasn't shot a free throw yet this season. Makes the first, front end of the 1-on-1. She did hit a three in the first half. That was the only 3 points she had until right now. But you can tell that they trust her.
Obviously, if you're Waukee, only putting your best ball handlers, Johnston only putting your best ball handlers out on the court right now. Eat up clock.
Bartholomew, a little handoff from Dinnebeer. Can't find space to get the shot up. With 1:48 left, now they'll get Bartholomew the right corner three. This one's short, and Mock, the rebound, gets it to Buchan. 11 and 11 for Mock. Quietly put together an excellent game. A little fast break showtime action. McDermott's pass is fumbled, but is able to get it back and set it up for Mock and then retrieve it with 90 seconds left. Johnston a 13-point lead. Buchan hands it off to Jillick. And this is going to go down as one of the more impressive wins of the early season. Obviously, Cedar Falls beating Johnston early this year, but just the way that this transpired against a top-ranked team, a 6th-ranked team in the state, Waukee, Johnston has looked every bit a state title contender here, as Need just a little bit strong off the backboard. Rebound to
Even though you try
Kettleman.
to eat up clock, you have to take that shot if you're Need. It was just so wide open.
And then a foul is on Jillick as Dinnebeer went up for the board.
Emery, one thing I think I want to stress, Waukee played well today. They played well on defense. They were where they wanted to be defensively. They got beat because Johnston simply got hot, was making the shots when they needed to make it, and Johnston has a phenomenal basketball player on their team in McDermott.
67-54, we'll step aside, come back with the final 57 right here on CISN.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Fall is upon us and fireplace season is here, and you need a new Heat and Glow gas fireplace insert. They're the perfect thing to make that old wood fireplace more beautiful, warmer, and easier to use. And right now, Heat and Glow is giving a $200 rebate, making it even easier for you to upgrade that old fireplace. Please come see them today, Fireplace Superstore, 109th and Douglas in Urbandale.
Less than a minute to go here in the first of our two games. 4th-ranked Johnston, 67. Waukee, 54. The 6th-ranked Warriors, like you were mentioning before the break, John Hurl. This is a good team. Going to win a ton of games. They're going to be definitely, I think, still ranked in the top 10 after this week. They're going to be ranked all season long. They're going to be a team that you're going to have to be paying close attention to. And then you look at the Johnston Dragons and what they did tonight, and the 31 points from Maya McDermott, and she didn't score at all in the second quarter.
Yeah, and it's really just been a tale of Waukee being really where they want to be defensively, being where they want to be offensively, not turning the ball over, not committing a lot of fouls. But Johnston just not caring about any of that, Emery, and just filling up the stat sheet themselves. A lot of it been done by McDermott, but you can't talk about Meade and Mock enough and what they've done as well.
Dennebeer hits a three on a pass from Bartholomew on the Waukee in and got elbowed in the face accidentally by McDermott on the way down the floor. As Buchan out, need, and she'll sit on it. Out to the center circle. And Johnston, without being intentionally fouled, is just going to run some motion offense and just hang on to the basketball and wrap this thing up with just over 10 seconds left to play. Buchan cuts in, dribble back out, gets to McDermott, and that will do it. Johnston, 67-57, a very impressive. You don't need resumes. Everybody gets into the tournament, but if there was a resume-building win, this one would look very, very good for the Johnston Dragons with this 10-point victory.
It absolutely would, Emery. And one thing that we teased early on is that while it's early in the season, we're always thinking about the postseason. And this is a win, and this is a separation between the two teams that could come back to play in effect if they should so happen to be in the same district.
When you talk about regional play, you talk about state tournaments, I think we're going to see these teams meet up potentially once again this year. They're not in the same conference. Johnston in the CIML Central, along with Ankeny, Centennial, Urbandale, Ames, and Dowling. CIML Iowa Division, Mason City, Marshalltown, Southeast Polk Valley, and Fort Dodge. But a great 67-57 win. We'll step aside, come back with final statistics, and then we'll kind of turn the page over to the boys' side. A ranked matchup between Jonston and Waukee coming up. But the Waukee girls fall to the Johnston Dragons here, 67-57 on CISN.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise, and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving Northwest and Central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
Boys teams taking the floor. Waukee and Johnston. They're going to have a phenomenal top 10 matchup. We'll get to that in a second, but let's wrap up what we saw from the girls' game. Johnston, number 4 ranked, 67. 6th ranked Waukee, 57. Some final statistics of note. Maya McDermott for Johnston, 31 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, a block. Went 3 for 3 at the free throw line. She's the real deal, John Hurl.
Yeah, she absolutely is. She was highlighted as the one player that Waukee knew they needed to stop coming into today's game. It was a pleasure to see her really in person, a phenomenal player to see play in person. And even with that bum quarter, like you talked about in the second, where she went scoreless, still ends up with 30, and that's just a testament to the fact that she can fill it up in so many different ways. She can shoot the three. We even saw her go inside, despite the fact that she's only 5'5", go inside and do damage in the paint, and really. When it comes to a player like that, they used to have what's called the Jordan rules, obviously, the Pistons used to use, where you would try to stop them, but you knew that you were never going to completely stop an offensive force like that. McDermott does such a phenomenal job today.
Yeah, and she did get some help. Kendall Need and Maddie Mock, two seniors up front, both had 11 points. Mock added 11 boards, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Excellent work out of Maddie Mock in this one as well. Hit a few threes. Kendall Need was really the factor. Scored 11 points and had 2 rebounds and 3 assists. It was defensively the way that she slowed down Peyton Kelderman. Waukee's leading scorer, 16 points a game. She only ended with 10 points, and a couple of those buckets came late.
Yeah, they absolutely did. And whenever you can get help, somebody like McDermott, you get help from your other teammates that did such a phenomenal job. And really what it was defensively. Johnston's other Dragons were doing such a good job playing defense, allowing McDermott to kind of rest on that side of the floor while she was still active in the passing lanes. But she really didn't have to worry about stopping anybody on defense, and she was allowed to really focus on offense. Testament to her teammates for helping her out there.
On the other side for the Waukee Warriors, leading scorer was Reagan Bartholomew. The sophomore off the bench had 16 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Also in double figures, both Keldermans, Lindsay and Peyton Kelderman, both had 10 points each. Lindsay had 4 rebounds and assists. Peyton had 2 rebounds, an assist, and 3 steals defensively. 8 points for Taryn Reisman. She also had 7 rebounds and 4 steals. A good all-around game from her. Megan Ernie had 7 points. And Katie Dennebier ended up with 6 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and a steal. A good all-around game for Dennebier, although she would have probably liked to score a few more points, but was stymied for the most part. That Johnston team defense, like we said, didn't allow a lot of creation. Also a stat I want to mention, free throws. The Waukee Warriors, 17 free throw attempts, only made 10 of those. If you add 7 of those makes, I mean, you're not going to make all your free throws, but if you add maybe 3 or 4 of those makes, this game is going to go down to the wire. But do give plenty of credit to Johnston for what they did. They did not commit as many fouls in the second half, played a much cleaner game, had, I believe, 11 or 12 turnovers at the half, only finished with 15, and Waukee pretty clean throughout with 10 turnovers as well. So definitely still 2 teams you're going to have to watch in Class 5A throughout the season, but Johnston absolutely made their case for being one of the best, if not the best team in the state of Iowa with their performance here tonight. Final score, 4th-ranked Johnston 67 and 6th-ranked Waukee 57. We'll step aside. We have a couple of ranked teams getting set for some action on the boys' side as well. The 2nd-ranked Waukee Warriors taking on the 8th-ranked Johnston Dragons, coming your way next right here on CISN.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
We know you have choices where you buy and service your next vehicle. At Schottenkirk Chevrolet, our core values make the difference. Hard work, always working to exceed your expectations. Trust, we accept the challenge to earn yours. Honesty, it's non-negotiable. Integrity, everything we do is guided by our core values. Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee, let us prove to you why we're different.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Fall is upon us and fireplace season is here, and you need a new Heat and Glow gas fireplace insert. They're the perfect thing to make that old wood fireplace more beautiful, warmer, and easier to use. And right now, Heat and Glow is giving a $200 rebate, making it even easier for you to upgrade that old fireplace. Please come see them today, Fireplace Superstore, 109th and Douglas in Urbandale.
Time to flip the page to the boys' side. Johnston going to look for a mini upset in the sweep here of Waukee. The Waukee Warriors looking to hold serve as one of the top teams in the state regardless of class. My name's Emery Songer. John Hurl is right next to me. We're sitting here with Central Iowa Sports Network getting you set up for what should be a phenomenal boys basketball game. According to the Des Moines Register's Super 10 rankings, Waukee number 2, Johnston number 8, Matt Bain. and I do a show, 1460 KXNO, every Friday night, 6 p.m. We'll be breaking down these two teams all season long. Johnston 2-0 so far this season with a couple of big blowout wins over Marshalltown on the road and against Des Moines North. That Des Moines North team has been good over the last few years. I know they're going to have a little bit of a rebuild this year, but certainly a team you're going to have to look out for in the CIML Metro. And Johnston ran over them 87-59 last Friday. A very impressive win as well. For Waukee, last game they played was last Tuesday against Des Moines East in a 70-28 romping of the Scarlets. Again, that's not a conference matchup. They're in the CIML Metro, but certainly an impressive way to start their season. So, John, you have two teams, Johnston 2-0, Waukee 1-0. Both teams ranked in the Super 10. Waukee number 2, Johnston number 8. Before we'll get to our keys to the game in a little bit, but it just kind of has another early season feel as two teams that we could be seeing play very deep into the playoffs in Class 4A.
It does, Emery. I can't imagine a place you'd want to be other than Waukee's gym in Iowa. If you're an Iowa high school sports fan tonight, another phenomenal matchup. Waukee, you look at these two teams. Waukee was the team last game in the girls' game that we were talking about balance. This Johnston team, however, in the second game, in the guys' game, such a balanced team offensively. They're going to be hard to stop as their number 1, 2, and 3 scores are only separated by 3 points. That's going to be a hard, balanced attack to stop if you're Waukee.
You can't key on anybody, and that's really tricky. But like we saw in the last game, even if you knew who you were trying to key on, in Maya McDermott for the Waukee girls defensively, she went for 31 anyways. That's just the kind of talent that she had. That's what we're talking about with this boys game, though. When you don't have a specific guy that you can just say, look, circle this guy. This is the guy that we got to stop if we're going to win this game. You don't have that against these Johnston Dragons. We'll get to our keys to the game. Starting lineups coming up. It is Waukee and Johnston, a ranked boys basketball matchup right here. As before we take that break, we're going to go ahead and one more thing that I want you to do for me here, John Hurl, is take me through that Waukee scoring and what you expect to see from them, because it isn't quite as balanced, but one game so far this year.
Yeah, not quite as balanced. The averages are, like you mentioned, completely determined upon that first game. But so far right now, it looks like for Waukee, their leading scorer is Peyton Sanford, and that shouldn't surprise anybody that's followed this Waukee team. He's a phenomenal athlete, but the second scorer is Tucker DeVries is also phenomenal. They've got maybe the best 1-2 punch in Class 4A basketball out of those two athletes, and that attack is going to be dang near impossible to stop if you're Johnston, because if you key in, you can put your best defender on that one guy, but that's going to allow the other guy to go off a little.
So with Sanford, when we talk about having that kind of guy, it really is a mirror image of what we saw in the girls' game. Maya McDermott was clearly the player you're going to need to stop on Johnston's side. She still went for hers. Sanford seems also kind of like the player that even if you try to key on him, if you're Johnston's defense, he's going to be a guy that's going to get his.
Oh, absolutely. Like I mentioned, McDermott, I don't think had a number 2 as capable as Tucker DeVries is. He's phenomenal. He went for 15 in the first game. Expect him to go for possibly even more today, particularly if they try to key in on Sanford. And in that first game, Sanford, he was 3 for 7 from 3 for a clip of 42%. Look for him to shoot the 3 because he was tied for the most threes on his team. Number 2 was Wyatt Heston, who also went 3 for 7 in that first game.
Yeah, you look at those percentages. Johnston, 3-point shooting a little bit higher than Waukee's, but the balance is going to be what's going to be lethal for them as well. Waukee last year did go to Wells Fargo Arena, did deal with some injury troubles as the season wore on. But when you look at this team now, a lot of youth, a lot of juniors as part of this program. Got 3 seniors on the roster, but certainly a team that you're not going to have to just pay attention to this year. You're going to have to pay attention to next year, especially as highly touted as they are so far this year. Let's go ahead and step aside. When we come back, we'll get those keys to the game for you and your starting lineups right here on CISN.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving northwest and central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
Just a couple minutes away from the starting lineups being announced. Let's quickly go through our keys to the game. First for the Johnston Dragons. John, what do Johnston need to do if they're going to come out with the win here?
Well, one of the points is actually something that we talked about Waukee doing in that girls game, and that's eliminating the best player on the other team. Don't let Sanford beat you, and don't let him beat you by himself. He's going to put up a solid number, but if you can prevent him from getting hot, if you can prevent him from getting comfortable, you're going to be able to keep yourself in this ball game and make sure that it's competitive throughout the entire game. Additionally, for Johnston, the other thing they need to do is get everyone involved. We talked about the balance of this team being maybe their biggest strength, and they need to utilize that and make sure that everybody, when their number is called to hit a bucket, is getting their open look and knocking it down.
All right, so that's what the Dragons are going to need to do. What do you think about these Waukee Warriors? What do they need to do if they want to hold serve here at home?
Well, for Waukee, similar to what they did in that first game when they shellacked Des Moines East, they need to run the offense through Sanford. The more that he has the ball in his hands, I think the better. He can shoot it from outside the arc. He can score inside. And the ball needs to be in his hands as much as possible because it can be a shot creator for others, particularly if he gets doubled and focused on by Johnston. The second point we talked about, don't be afraid to shoot the three. In that first game, Waukee was 10 for 29 on three-pointers. You like to be a little bit better than that. Don't shy away from the three-point shot because that's something that, the averages are a little bit messed up after just one game of play, but you need to keep going back to that because that's something you're going to need if you're going to be one of the top teams in the state. You're going to need to be able to shoot the ball from outside the arc.
Yeah, when you talk about getting yourself 70-28 win, they chucked 29 three-point attempts, like you said, in the first game of the season. This is not a shy team. Don't play shy against a ranked team in your gym early on this season. Two teams have made their way to the bench. We're going to have a little bit of fireworks here. I think we're going to have two great teams with high hopes for what's going to happen the rest of the season. Coach Justin O for his Waukee Warriors, Brian Frick for the Jonston Dragons. They're going to have their guys ready to go. A huge matchup in Central Iowa in the early going here in the 2019-2020 boys basketball season. Let's go ahead and send it on down to our PA announcer who will give you our starting lineups. We'll recap that and have the opening tip for you in moments. Let's head on down to the floor.
Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Waukee Fieldhouse for tonight's CIML non-conference boys game between the Jonston Dragons and the Waukee Warriors. Waukee High School has committed itself to maintaining the highest level of sportsmanship possible at all athletic events. To achieve this goal, Waukee High School is asking every Warrior fan to treat our visitors in the same manner we would like the Warriors to be treated when they're away from home. And secondly, for each of us in the stands to be courteous and considerate of our neighbors in the stands by what we do and what we say. Tonight's game officials, as assigned by the Central Iowa Metro League, are Mr. Darius Daniel, Ms. Carrie Budnick, and Mr. Randy Wiggins. Let's meet the cheerleaders for both teams. First for Johnston, Kimmy Ballard, Rachel Byerly, Fabiola Gamboa, Melissa Savick, and Tiffany Gradler. And for Waukee, Jana Hayes, Casey Cosbab, Sophia Liston, Kayla O'Donnell, Charlotte Finnis, and Paris Ziegler.
Okay, Warrior fans, get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lights out.
And now let's meet the starting lineup for both teams. From Johnston, number 2, Jacob Runyon. And for Waukee, a 6'6" junior, number 12, Tucker DeVries. For Johnston, number 12, Luke Woodley. For the Warriors, a 6'7" junior, number 20, Peyton Stanford. For Johnston, number 14, Reed Grant. For the Warriors, a 6'4" freshman, number 21, Bryce Sanford. For Johnston, number 22, Brees Proctor. For the Warriors, a 6'7" junior, number 32, Wyatt Heston. And for Johnston, number 44, Max Rocky. And for the Warriors, a 6'6" senior, number 33, Lincoln Swanson. Head coach of the Dragons is Brian Frick. Head coach of the Warriors, Justin Old.
All right, well, I mean, that's about as good as a starting lineup high school production that you're going to find around the state of Iowa, I would venture to say.
Yeah, they do a phenomenal job getting you amped for a game, Emery. They did it in the girls' game, too. They got a nice video. You're getting close to college level production. I go to Drake, and our pyrotechnics before the game are just about similar to that.
I don't know what that says. A good Waukee is, or are you digging your own?
Well, let's just say Waukee's doing a great job. A great job.
That's good stuff. Student section amped up. Jersey night over there. Let's go ahead and talk about the starting lineups real quick. If you didn't hear, for Johnston, their starters, sophomore Jacob Runyon, standing 5 feet 8 inches, 6'2" senior Luke Woodley, 6'1" junior Reed Grant, and up front, 6'3" senior Brees Proctor, and the 6'6" junior Max Rocky. For Justin Ola and the Warriors, it'll be 6'6" junior Tucker DeVries, Peyton Sanford, Bryce Sanford, the junior freshman, respectively. Peyton stands 6'7", Price stands 6'4", and then Wyatt Heston at 6'7", and Lincoln Swanson at 6'6", round out the starting 5 for Waukee, wearing white uniforms trimmed in purple, and then Johnston with the purple trimmed in gold. Johnston basketball after the tip. Kick out. Here's Runyon on the drive. Gives it up to Reed Grant. Grant will step back. Gets shut off there. Here's a little drive. It'll be a foul on the floor as Woodley on the drive. Woodley, leading scorer this season at 15 points per game, but as you mentioned in the open, John, there's not a lot of change from, top to bottom in the way that this starting 5 can score.
No, there's absolutely not, as we're going to get 3-point shot up and in.
Runyon.
Good job there by Runyon, and look at him. He comes in. He's he's not near the top for scoring-wise for Johnston, but quickly he's on the board with 3.
Over left side, first shot attempt by Price Sanford. Misses, but a good offensive rebound by Lincoln Swanson. Swanson can't quite get the shot to fall. The rebound to Max Rocky. Runyon, they'll swing it around into the corner. Woodley, that's off the mark, but it bounces all the way outside. Reed Grant picks it up, gets it to Runyon, another 3. This one misses. Wyatt Heston, the rebound. Pace, quick, both ways.
Both teams playing juiced early. That's something we saw in the girls' game as well. A lot of jitters and a lot of excitement for this top-ranked matchup.
The foul, by the way, they originally had said on the scoreboard the player wasn't in the game. It was on Wyatt Heston. Down low, here's the first look for Peyton Sanford.
Absolute beautiful entry pass there to set Peyton Sanford up, and he'll take that all day, and he'll make that all day.
Handoff. Here's a drive. Woodley with the left hand gets called for a charge.
Great job getting in position there by Lincoln Swanson. He's been a hustle player early. He's getting rebounds. He's all over the floor, playing well defensively.
Lute Woodley. I'm going to go ahead and guess that Lute comes from Lute Olson, a legendary Iowa Hawkeye, Arizona Wildcat collegiate head coach. It's a good basketball name. Got to be good at basketball if you're named Lute. Little fader. That one off the mark. Good hustle play and attempt by Lincoln Swanson, but you can see the kind of green light that Peyton Sanford is going to get.
Yeah, he's going to have the liberty to take those shots all day. That one, a little bit of an air ball, but he's trying to find his rhythm early, and that should be expected.
Here's Woodley out on the right wing. Goes to the top to Rocky. He'll probe. Has it knocked away by Sanford, and he gets the steal. Going the other direction. Cross court. Price. Can't get the wide open three to go. And there's going to be a foul on the backside. Reed Grant reaching in off the offensive rebound. Lincoln Swanson.
That's Swanson's second offensive rebound of the day. Good job there to take that back after the long miss from Price Sanford.
And left Price Sanford wide open. But you talked about it, John. Can't be afraid of the three. Price went 1 for 3 in that big 42-point victory that Waukee had to start the season over East. And there's going to be a foul on the entry before the pass is even thrown.
Tell you what, Peyton Sanford did a really good job selling that foul.
There's going to be a double foul. No? Never mind. Almost looked like they were going to call a double foul there, but it is a Breeze Proctor foul. Officiating crew going to check with the guys, make sure that everybody's good to go. Proctor with the tough assignment of taking care of Peyton Sanford in this one. Inbound pass caught by Tucker DeVries. DeVries standing a nice 6'6" with skills of a guard. He'll pull up and shoot a three and buries it.
Don't be afraid of the three, Emery. Tucker DeVries, he wasn't open and he was really far away from the basket, but he'll stroke it and put 3 on the board.
Proctor on the drive, hook shot a little off. It'll be a foul over the back on Max Rocky.
44, Max Rocky.
That's quickly 14 fouls here on the Dragons in the first 2.5 minutes.
It's been a slow offensive game so far, just 5-3 here as we're already over 2.5 minutes away. But a little bit of momentum seems to be swinging Waukee's way.
Here's the drive. Price Sanford comes up a little short. Good defense from Runyon. He gets the board. Quickly the other way. Proctor, right wing, doesn't want the three ball. He'll give it to Runyon. Runyon looking inside. Now he'll drive with the left hand. Kicks it out. And he'll bounce around. Rocky underneath. Little spin move in the lay-in.
That entire offensive possession, Johnston was getting the passes that they wanted and setting guys up well, and they end up scoring. It's now a tied game 5-5.
Credit the penetration from Runyon, kind of getting Waukee to chase the ball a little bit, and eventually allowed a one-on-one down on the block. Excellent work down low. But then answer again, a three by DeVries.
2 straight threes by DeVries. Puts Waukee up 3.
8-5 is the score. Here's going to be a pull-up. That one well long by Reed Grant, but the offensive rebound bounces all the way out. Runyon can't make it hurt, and it's knocked out of bounds to Waukee.
Runyon playing with a lot of confidence. No Johnston Dragon has had the ball in their hands more than he has early on in this one. He's 1 for 3 from behind the arc.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, averaging just 3 points per game, 6 points total in the 2 games they've played. Maybe that's kind of Waukee's way of kind of filtering it. Runyon does set up a lot of the offense, but maybe that's their way of just trying to keep it out of the hands of some of the capable scorers.
Mismatch down here low.
Here's another three. This one from Price Sanford. This one's short. Rebound pulled out of there by Proctor. Oh, look at Lute Woodley. Left hand, can't get the roll. Good offensive positioning on the board and put back by Rocky. DeVries with it. He's had the hot hand, a couple of threes. Waukee up by 1, 8-7. 3:40 left here in this first quarter. DeVries will drive, and he'll get called for steps.
And DeVries, if you saw, he had Price Sanford open in the corner 3. I thought he might kick that out for the open 3. Decided to take it himself, and he's going to get called for the travel.
It's good defense staying in front. Stephen Kramer, a sophomore, will come in. He'll replace Woodley for a moment. Can't imagine Woodley will be out of the game for too awful long here. Trey Lewis, another sophomore, enters the game for Johnston. And he's not sure who he's supposed to get. He'll get Breeze Proctor. That'll affect the backcourt a little bit here. But it'll still be Runyon who will bring it in the front court. Plenty of sophomores getting some looks here. Kramer, Lewis, and Runyon, all sophomores here early. Reed Grant has his pass tipped and stolen. DeVries. He'll hustle it ahead. Wyatt Heston kicks it back out. DeVries hasn't been afraid to pull that trigger. He's got it at the volleyball line, sizes up Rocky, deep three, yeah!
Can't play defense against that, Emery. He was almost at the volleyball line when he unleashed that shot. That's his third three of the game, and he has Waukee rolling.
Gee whiz. I mean, Max Rocky, the big man, he was doing the best he could. Kramer fades, draws air, rebound DeVries, who's all over the place right now, gets it ahead to Heston. Here's Sanford. Sanford working on Kramer, gives it to Price Sanford. He'll drive into the corner. Heston, open. Got it.
Beautiful pass by Price Sanford there. You can't set up a teammate better than that, and that's another three for Waukee.
That's their fourth three of the first quarter with 2.5 to go. They lead at 14-7. Here's the drive, Lewis, all the way to the cup.
Good job by Lewis there to stop the bleeding and get a bucket for Johnston.
And they come out with a little full court look. And a little bit of a switch as now Reed Grant is picking up the defensive duties on Tucker DeVries.
And we talked about Sanford coming in.
He's going to fire again. Oh!
DeVries having the first quarter of his life. Fourth three of the quarter.
Unconscious in the first for Tucker DeVries.
And you can't defend that. We talked about that. He's not really even open. He's taking these threes and just sinking them.
Kramer, excellent stop on a dime and lays it in. The 6'4 sophomore off the bench. Good move there.
You talk about DeVries. Peyton Sanford was the player we highlighted in the beginning as the one that they would need to stop. And DeVries has taken the spotlight so far in this quarter.
He gets a screen, now gets picked up on the big guy again. He'll drive on him this time, all the way to the hole. Too strong. Rebound pulled out of there by Grant. He wants to push. Grant, Runyon, wide open, right wing three on the way. In and out, rebound Sanford. 17-11, too tall the pass for Sanford. That's just the second turnover for Waukee, only one turnover for Johnston. That's the kind of caliber we're seeing offensively here. Just missed shots on one end, and Waukee can't miss at this point when Tucker DeVries is taking a shot. Couple of subs in for both sides. Lewis has it on the left wing, just over a minute to play first quarter. And that's a little too fast on the fastball as he looked for Jonathan Leth, the senior who just checked in.
Yeah, good idea there by Trey Lewis, trying to find the inside score. A little bit too much heat on that pass, something that we saw a couple seconds ago on the Waukee side.
Blake Pappenberg, a junior, to inbound, but he was running out of time. Timeout Waukee. It'll be a 30. We'll keep it here. So the timeout there taken by Justin Old, just wanted to make sure that he was going to commit a 5-second violation. With that all being the case, John, fun first quarter here. Waukee with 17 points, 12 of those on Tucker DeVries threes. Really has ignited the crowd here in the early going.
Oh, no, it absolutely has, and the crowd is 100% in this game. Student section doing a good job letting themselves be heard here at Waukee. But yeah, DeVries, it's hard not to cheer for this guy. Almost, you know, he's doing a phenomenal job stroking the three. Very fun player to watch, playing very, very excited. And for his own, Peyton Sanford, who we talked about, the player to watch coming into, he hasn't done as good of a job filling up the scorebook offensively. In fact, he only has 2 points so far in this first quarter, but he is doing a really good job setting up his teammates and playing good defense.
Yeah, there's going to be a foul before the inbound. And they're going to get Brees Proctor. That's the second time he's been called on a foul before the inbound. So he has two early.
His second, team fifth of the half.
Coming up the floor, Blake Pappenberg, after they do eventually get it inbound. 1 minute left in this first quarter. DeVries wants it. Pass a little too tall, but he's got it. Proctor now getting the DeVries duties. He'll hand it off to Heston. Heston run a little weave at the top. Oh, nice cut. Heston couldn't quite handle the pass, though. Missed the shot. Got it back. Goes back up. He's fouled. Good job sticking with it. At the same time, I love the weave leading to the backdoor cut. The pass just a little bit wide of the mark.
Oh, that was picture perfect. Beautiful. Every part of that except the pass was a little bit off. Good job here, though, by Heston to save himself. And he's going to hit this first foul shot. But that'll be a play that they'll for sure go back to in the future.
The junior Connor Sudout, who just entered the game, the pass just a little bit off the mark, but he made the right basketball play, found that cutter coming on that back door, and it does eventually result in 2 points. 5 points for Heston, who also hit a three earlier in this quarter. 19-11, Waukee the lead. Here's Runyon, who will walk it up the floor. Gets it to Lewis, over to Proctor, and he gives it to Leth. Leth kind of spins, now goes into the paint. He'll do a little teardrop. That's off the mark, tipped out, and eventually taken by DeVries. DeVries surveys and now looks at the clock, sees that there's only 20 seconds left, and they'll slow it down. Proctor on him. This is a defensive switch after he hit 4 threes on a couple of different guys. Gets a screen. Leth now picks him up. He is doubled by Lewis. Still finishes and one. 14 looking for 15 in the first for Tucker DeVries.
I was surprised that DeVries drove that early. I thought he might try to burn a little bit of clock off, but he must have seen a seam. Drives in there, gets fouled, the hoop in the hard. He'll have a chance to make it 3.
He does not heel the rim. Rebound pulled down by Kramer. The foul was on Trey Lewis. It's already his second as well. 3 seconds left. Runyon looks at the clock, gets up a shot, but it was a tough shot. No good. That'll end the first quarter. Waukee on fire is Tucker DeVries. 14 of his team's 21 points. Waukee, wait a second, they're going to call a foul on the shot at the end of the quarter, so we're going to have 2 free throws that will have nobody there as 0 on the clock when the foul occurred. And Runyon, a couple of points right here. The foul was called on Price Sanford, and Runyon makes 1 of 2. So that will officially end the first quarter. 21-12 will be the score now. Waukee with the lead. We'll be back with the second quarter after this on CISN.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise, and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you, and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Waukee a 21-12 lead, the second-ranked team in the Des Moines Register Super 10. Waukee has 5 guys on the floor. And a little bit of confusion, but it will be to start out the second quarter. Price Sanford, Tucker DeVries. And still some confusion as Waukee already has a player at the scorer's table ready to check in, but I think Coach Justin Ohl has already said that he doesn't want him to check in until the first dead ball. And there's a foul on Runyon. That's a third foul that Johnston has been called for prior to the ball being inbounded, and they're in the 1-and-1, so that's going to be free throws without a second on the clock.
Yeah, unfortunate for Johnston. I don't know what's going on down there. A little too far away to see, but there's a little bit of contact. Referees being quick with the whistle so far on those inbound plays.
Now the substitution will take place. It'll be Wyatt Heston coming in, replacing Blake Pappenberg. It's the 18th foul. That's on Runyon, his first.
DeVries will have a chance to add to his scoring mark, which already leads the game so far.
That's 15 on the first make. He's got one more coming.
And he hasn't come out of the game yet. I wonder when they're going to try to give him a breather before half.
Maybe just keep riding this wave until he shows he's cooled off. In and out on the second. Runyon the rebound. He's just 1 for 2 or 1 for 3 from the line so far here, but 15 points, by far and away leading all scorers. Here's a drive. Good defense there by Price Sanford. Rebound to DeVries. He's going to drive all the way up the floor. Met by Proctor. Stops. Pops with a little right-handed hook in. Puts it in. He's got 17.
Yeah, feeling himself. He wasn't going to pass that ball up for anyone. He had a couple different options, decided to call his own number, and puts 2 in the hole.
Outside, Lute Woodley. He's going to fire 3 top of the key. That's a round and out. Good rebound by Peyton Stanford.
And Emory Waukee really seems to be taking control of this game now after a
DeVries
couple misses.
outside the volleyball line! You got to be kidding me! Head coach Brian Frick does not know what to do. Looks at Breeze Proctor and says, what do we do? 27-12 Waukee. We'll take a quick break, come back with more after this on CISN.
Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. Kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
7:17 left, second quarter. Waukee a 27-12 lead. 20 of the 27 belong to Tucker DeVries, who has 5 threes, the latest of which occurs outside the volleyball line. I said Coach Brian Frick doesn't know what to do. He knows what to do. He was not happy Breeze Proctor was not in his space when he took that shot. But in your brain, how often do you have to guard a guy from the volleyball line?
And if you go out there, you know that he can just blow right past you and go to the lane and score that way. It's almost impossible to play defense when DeVries is shooting this well from 3.
I mean, it's something else. Proctor will drive, little right-hand hook. That one off the back of the rim. It's knocked out of bounds, and it will go to Waukee. Good job defensively, good positioning that time by Peyton Stanford, who's not scoring. He hasn't needed to score, but he's been on the boards a lot.
That's what I was going to say. If you were to tell Johnston that Peyton Stanford would only have 2 points with 7 minutes left in the second quarter, I'm sure they would have taken it, but they don't know that DeVries would go off the way that he has.
13 foul as Stanford gets called for a foul on the rebound on the drive that time from Lincoln Swanson. Just couldn't quite finish. Runyon will take a seat. Trey Lewis, who has 2 fouls, will enter the game here for the Johnston Dragons. Just looking for an answer. We kind of saw the opposite. Johnston out to a really hot start with Maya McDermott, and they had a 14, 15-point lead. Well, that's exactly where we're at right now. Can Johnston's offense get them back into this game? As Lewis kicks it out, Proctor right corner 3 on the way. That one's off the mark. Rebound to Price Sanford.
Johnston can't buy a bucket here in the second quarter.
Yeah, they're looking for the outside shot, and they're just not falling right now. Here's DeVries, guarded by Proctor. Gets it over to Heston. Now to the top, Sanford, back to DeVries. DeVries now drives baseline, little right-hand floater. Why not?
Again, DeVries passes up the opportunity to go for 3 there and calls his own number, drops in a couple more.
Lewis kind of lost the handle, just throws it up there for a shot. Of course, that he didn't have real control over it. Sanford collects the rebound. Now he'll shoot a volleyball line 3. That one's short. Lewis the rebound. You can tell Peyton Sanford itchy to get into the action here.
Yeah, I think Sanford wants to heat up a little bit and start getting into the groove, which he hasn't been able to do so far this game.
Well, and they played through. I mean, we talked about playing through Sanford. They've been playing through DeVries, and there's going to be a charge. Lewis is going to get called for his 3rd foul. Would have been an and 1, but good positioning underneath.
Tough break for Johnston there. Probably the right call, but they really wanted that and 1. To stop this bleeding and get something going offensively.
3rd foul, like I mentioned, on Lewis. So there's one of your key guards, the sophomore. Yeah, but he's going to stay out there for the time being as Runyon takes a breather. 29-12, Waukee, a 17-point lead. 22 points for Tucker DeVries here in the first half, and he's got it on the left wing. He's guarded this time by Lute Woodley. He'll pass to Price Sanford. Rims out. Rebound to Proctor on the backside. Here's Lewis, deep left wing 3. That one off the rim, and rebound again to Peyton Sanford.
Interesting thing about Waukee's scoring breakdown is it's been almost entirely Breeze. Players not named DeVries combined for 7 points out of the 29.
He'll fade from 15. And different guys at almost every time down the floor, and then Waukee is getting a switch on whoever they want Johnston to have to guard him with, and then he's getting whatever he wants.
And I should say, despite the fact that no one else on Waukee is really filling up the point box, they are doing a great job setting up their teammate for opportunities, as it looks like Sanford is going to get 3 free throw shots.
Yeah, he felt Proctor just a little bit too close and fired it up there, drew the contact, and he'll get 3 free throws. As he, a guy like him who loves to score the basketball, he doesn't like being a spectator for too long, and if he starts to get going on top of what DeVries is already doing,
that's when it could really snowball, particularly if Johnson's guards stay in foul trouble.
Proctor, for him, that's 3 as well. So there's one of your best defensive players with 3 fouls. First free throw is good from Peyton Stanford. He wants it on the act. And that's just going to continue to open up space for DeVries as well. As he rattles home the second, does Peyton Stanford. Stanford in the first game did go 2 for 3 from the line. Runyon comes in for Lewis. Proctor also will have a seat as Max Rocky comes back into the game. Connor Shootout as 3 for 3 from the line for Sanford. Shootout back in for Waukee. He'll replace Lincoln Swanson. Kramer drives, little step through, and he'll lay it in. Second time Kramer's done that on the inside. He's got 4. Here's DeVries. He'll go all the way with the left hand. Kind of got Reed Grant kind of backpedaling, and he just went all the way to the hole.
Yeah, he found the opening, took it, and DeVries might be the most well-conditioned athlete on the floor right now. He hasn't come out of the game. He's the leading scorer. He's been driving, cutting, playing defense, and he's still on the floor, hasn't taken a break.
He has his first foul there.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's kind of negative, I guess, but he's being active defensively. Tough shot for Woodley, but he's fouled, and he'll go to the line. That's going to be called on Peyton Stanford. That'll be number 2 on him. But you're right. I mean, DeVries has been active on the defensive end as well. It's not just the 26 points, which is insane to think about. 26 points, and we still have 4:18 left in this first half. First free throw missed by Woodley. He is still scoreless. Came in as the leading scorer for this Johnston team. One more for the lefty. And it's short. Rebound, Blake Pappenberg. So DeVries gets the play call. He's going to be matched up with Reed Grant once again. Gets a screen. Now switch to Rocky. This has been a matchup he's taken advantage of multiple times. He'll try to do that again, but then he's going to be called for a charge. Great job stepping up and taking the charge by the guy who originally started guarding him, Reed Grant.
Yeah, and what Waukee is doing is they're sending those 2 high screens, and DeVries is going whichever way he prefers to be, which defender he prefers to have guard him, so he can kind of create a speed mismatch and try to take advantage with the drive-in.
Yeah, and the help is what helps. If he's not going to shoot the 3 and go on the drive, somebody needs to step up and take a charge just like Grant did right there. End of the game is Garrett Miller, replacing Woodley for the time being. 36-14 the score. Waukee leading by 22 points. They work it around the outside. Johnston's offense. Kramer, kick out. Runyon wants a 3. That's his second 3 ball of the game.
And that was the first really good offensive set for Johnston in a while. Very crisp passing and a wide open 3 for Runyon.
Here's Price Sanford, little mid-ranger after the pass was tipped. So back and forth we go. Here's Runyon. He'll drive, loses the handle, stolen away. And then it's taken right back, and Grant will go all the way. And they're going to get Connor Shootout on a foul with no bucket, or maybe the bucket does count. I'm not sure. And it will be a 1-and-1 for Runyon. So it does count for Grant, so give him the 2 and the steal. It's chaotic play, but it's going to be a 1-and-1 on top of the bucket because it was a foul away from the ball on the made field goal. So the front end of the 1-and-1 here for Runyon, off the mark, so it doesn't end up hurting him on the scoreboard. Rebound taken by Lincoln Swanson, and then back come the Warriors up by 21. Heston, well outside the arc, pestered by Miller, gets it over. Swanson with it. Pappenberg bounces it over to Sanford. Back to DeVries. Got Grant on him, pump fake. Stops, pops. Why not from 10?
Emery's double teamed. I don't know what else you want to do. Throw another defender out there. I mean, you can't.
He's got two guys on him.
You can't guard that. He's double teamed.
He's got 28, and we have 2.5 left in the half.
And doubling's only going to exacerbate your problems because he can go hit another teammate.
Outside Runyon left open, another three. This one just short. Look at Rocky. Aggressive on the offensive glass. He is fouled. The ball gets wedged in between the rim and the backboard, but Rocky will have 2 shots coming.
And really, Emory, 40-17. Waukee has done absolutely everything that they've wanted to do. It's been the hands of DeVries. 28 points in the first half.
Have you ever seen such a thing?
I don't think I've ever seen a high school athlete take absolute dominant control of a game the way that DeVries has today.
First free throw from Rocky off the mark. And offensively, just the shots are not going down for anyone wearing a purple uniform right now.
No, they're not. And they've had a couple good looks. They've been, we talked about balance and the balance of their offense before this game. They have had a lot of different guys take shots.
But who's the guy that's going to have the go-to guy here?
And there's no hot hand, and the leading scorer for him is Runyon, but that hasn't come easy.
He's got more points in this game than he had the first 2 games combined. Second one is good here from Rocky. That makes it 40-18. Sanford back in, replaced Pappenberg. He's got it. A little hesitation. Wanted to get it to DeVries. Instead, we'll go to Price Sanford. And now they will get it to DeVries with Grant on him on the right wing. He'll drive, pull up from the right elbow, and he missed a shot. Alert the presses.
Good to know he's mortal, Emory.
Tucker DeVries actually missed a shot. Rocky over to Runyon. Now can Johnston just chip away here? 22 points is a lot. Look at the scoop by Grant. Can't get the roll. I mean, they've had a lot of guys like that, a lot of shots that just have not fallen in. They were 50-50. Lincoln Swanson got the board. We'll see what Waukee does now, as there's going to be an offensive foul. I think they're going to get Sanford.
Sanford showing a bit of emotion. He's upset about that.
And that's 3 on Peyton Sanford. Well, and he's watched his teammate just go nuts here with 28 in the first half, and he hasn't gotten a chance to get going. He made 1 bucket early and has made 3 free throws, and now he's got 3 fouls, and that's going to be something that he's going to be saddled with the rest of this game.
A bit of a frustrating game for him, but I'm sure he'll take his team being up 40-18.
Absolutely. Here into the corner is Kramer. Drops it off to Rocky. Has a good pass, but again, just can't finish inside. Rebound tipped around, and eventually pulling it out of there is DeVries. He'll drive, pull up from 12, around and out, and it goes out of bounds, and it will go to Waukee.
2 straight misses by DeVries on shots that, he really is forcing them, but you can force them when you're that good, when you're that hot. You can force some shots. That's 2 in a row that he hasn't really been open on. I wonder if he'll maybe take the foot off the gas pedal.
Pappenberg on the inbound fires a left wing 3, and why not?
Pappenberg for 3.
So Pappenberg onto the score sheet with his first triple. Kramer's got it for Johnston. I mean, nothing has gone right for Johnston, and everything has gone right specifically for Tucker DeVries, among others, for this Waukee Warrior team. Is Grant left wing, left open enough, but again, can't get it to fall. Rocky gets the rebound and it is foul.
And I think, Emory, what you just said, left open enough but couldn't get it to fall. That summarizes this entire Johnston offensive game so far in this first half. They've been open. They've had decent enough shots, decent enough looks, but seemingly nothing has been able to fall for them.
Rocky will shoot a pair. 1 for 2 earlier on here in the second quarter. His first one here is good. And he's got 6. Rocky averaging 12 a game, so he's the only semblance of one of their regular top scorers of being super active.
And DeVries is going to step out of the game for the first time.
So
54 seconds left.
Looks like he's going to settle on 28 for the half as Rocky puts in both. He's got 7 to go along with 6 rebounds. Here's Price Sanford. Into the game was Joseph Lindholm for Tucker DeVries. Pappenberg. Oh, nice little behind-the-back dribble to get loose. Here's Lindholm, fresh into the game, picks up the dribble, looking for some help. We'll get it to Pappenberg. 30 seconds to go here. Waukee with a 23-point lead on the back of the 28 points of Tucker DeVries. Yes, in one half, Tucker DeVries, 28 points. Into the short corner, kick out Pappenberg, same spot. Different result, unable to get this one. Kramer, an aggressive rebound there, and he'll push it ahead. Here's Runyon, back to Kramer, wide open top of the key, but again, the wide open shot's just not falling for Johnston. Rebound Pappenberg, 7 seconds left. Sanford, left-hand drive, poked away, and just firing it up, and no good was Hessen at the horn, but that ends what is a remarkable half for Tucker DeVries, the Waukee junior. 28 points in the first half against a ranked opponent in the Johnston Dragons. We'll go ahead and step aside and give you your halftime show. We'll have an interview coming up as well, but 43-20, Waukee all over Johnston after one half of play right here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
We're back here live. It's a halftime show. Emery Songer currently being joined by the girls basketball coach here at Waukee, Chris Guess, as the state championship winning dance team for Waukee takes the floor for their halftime routine. Coach Guess, first of all, thanks for joining us up here. Tough loss earlier, 67-57. This Johnston team, certainly no joke. Both of your teams are expecting to be competing for a state championship this year. What was kind of the game plan coming in, especially knowing that you had just a rocket in Maya McDermott that you had to defend?
Well, not only do you have to defend Maya McDermott, you also have to worry about the Need Girl and Mock. Yep. And in addition to those kids, their role players play very well as well. So, I mean, we knew what to expect. They're an outstanding team and, top 5, top 6 program in the state. And, it was just a matter of the game started out very up-pace, up-tempo, and I think Johnston hit their first 7 shots, if I'm not mistaken. And I think they were 6 out of 6 from the three-point line in the first quarter. And they came out and they got us 26-12 in the first quarter. We bounced back in the second, kind of got the tempo in our favor a little bit. We got them in foul trouble. We got to the free throw line, and we crawled back into the game, and I believe we had a couple of possessions to tie the game, and we were unable to convert, and we go into halftime, with I think a 4-point deficit.
Well, with that being the case, like you said, you got it within arm's length a couple of times. You got it down to a one-possession game for a short time there early in the third quarter, but Johnston always seemed to have the answer, and they were very volatile offensively. It was either they went ice cold, especially in that second quarter, or everybody was hitting shots. But one player that kept you in it, your spark plug off the bench, Reagan Bartholomew. What have you seen from her? She had 16 points along with 3 rebounds, couple of assists tonight. I know some of your top scorers weren't having big nights because of the defense Johnston was playing, but Bartholomew had an excellent game off the bench.
She is very skilled at getting to the basket, she's a scorer. And what we really hope to see more of from her is developing that scoring ability even more so, where she's able to get into the lane, finish, draw more contact, get to the free throw line more. But no, certainly Reagan's off to a good start here early in this season. And, we got nice guard play. We have, we've got a nice team.
Well, looking ahead to what you have, knowing that this is just your fourth game of the season and looking ahead to, Fort Dodge this Friday back here at home, what did you see out of this? I know it was a loss, but there has to be some more positives that you're looking forward to building off of against Fort Dodge on Friday.
Oh, this is, fourth game of the season. There's many things to build on. It's just a matter that we need to clean up the little things. Jump stop, contact blockouts, communication on defense, defensive rotation. There's no question that Johnston shot the lights out, but we can defend better, and there's a lot of things that, we can finish when we get to the basket. We can drive to score, look to kick, and, there's so many little things like that that we can build on. We competed very well tonight against one of the state's top teams, and it's early, and we'll go back to work tomorrow and try to get better.
Well, absolutely. I think we saw two of the best teams in the state tonight on the girls basketball side of things for sure. Coach Chris Guess of the Waukee girls basketball team falls short tonight against the fourth-ranked Johnston Dragons. 67-57 was the final score. Coach, thanks so much for giving us some time, and good luck on Friday.
All right, thanks for being here.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll get you halftime stats for this boys game and get you set up for the second half right after this on CISN.
Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. Kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
We know you have choices where you buy and service your next vehicle. At Schottenkirk Chevrolet, our core values make the difference. Hard work, always working to exceed your expectations. Trust, we accept the challenge to earn yours. Honesty, it's non-negotiable. Integrity, everything we do is guided by our core values. Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee, let us prove to you why we're different.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Fall is upon us and fireplace season is here, and you need a new Heat and Glow gas fireplace insert. They're the perfect thing to make that old wood fireplace more beautiful, warmer, and easier to use. And right now, Heat and Glow is giving a $200 rebate, making it even easier for you to upgrade that old fireplace. Please come see them today, Fireplace Superstore, 109th and Douglas in Urbandale.
You want to stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Emery Songer, John Hurl, the entire crew here for the Central Iowa Sports Network, giving you high school boys basketball at the half. Waukee 43, Johnston 20. This is a matchup in the Des Moines Register Super 10. Waukee's ranked second. Johnston is ranked 8th. It wasn't really even about the teams as a whole. It was about number 12 for Waukee, the 6'6" junior Tucker DeVries, who played 15 minutes of a 16-minute half and scored 28 points. John Hurl, what can you say about that performance that we saw from that young man in the first half of what was a 15-minute half for him?
Well, Emery, I said it in the first half, and I'll say it again. I don't know if I've seen a more dominant performance by a high school athlete. I've seen ones that maybe equal that, but as far as more than that, I mean, that equals anything I've seen for a first half. And to do it against the 8th best team in the state is something. It's not like he's going against a team maybe a class lower or maybe a team a little bit worse. He's doing this against some of the toughest competition in the state. That's terrifying if you're anybody else that's going to have Waukee on your schedule. And that was such a simple first half to break down. It was all him. He was doing it himself. he was being guarded well. People were coming out and guarding him on the three-point line. He had double and sometimes triple teams when he would go and attack the paint, but he was still able to assert his will, assert his dominance. And when you have an athlete like that who came in, and we were talking about him being the number 2, I mean, my gosh, how is anybody going to come to Waukee and beat this team if both of their guys are going? Because right now one of them's going, and it's lights out.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Imagine sitting at home. You could be anybody in Class 4A, and you're going to see this halftime score on your app, or you're watching us. You don't know what's going on. You see Waukee 43, Johnston 20. You're like, wow. And then somebody tells you that Peyton Sanford has 5 points and 1 made bucket and has been saddled with foul trouble late in that first half. And they'll be like, what? And then you'll tell them that Tucker DeVries has 28 points, and they're going to be like, what? This is it, combustible, right? Like this thing can just explode at any point, and it could still explode even more knowing that Peyton Sanford didn't give you a whole lot in that first half, as Johnston has it with those purple uniforms to start our second half. Down by 23. They're going to have to make up a lot of ground quickly, and it's going to start with shots to fall, and that's a shot that wasn't falling in the first half. Reed Grant able to get the layup to go. We didn't even get to talk about Johnston. The offense generated a lot of open shots. They just couldn't find ways to get them to go in.
I think if you're Johnston, your offensive gameplay, your offensive strategy doesn't really have to change a lot. Eventually those shots, the percentages are going to work out. They're going to start to fall, but you have to find a way to stop DeVries.
DeVries finds underneath. A good look for Lincoln Swanson, but he can't pull it down with the bucket. Rebound to Rocky. Here's Runyon. And it's who is it going to be? Who's going to be the guy who's going to take over the scoring load? Luke Woodley came in as their leading scorer at 15 a game. He hasn't scored a point yet. Rocky inside leaves the little bunny shot short. Rebound Wyatt Heston for the Warriors.
Well, we talked about Johnston and the fact that their scoring is so spread as a strength. Right now it could be a weakness because they don't have a guy to go to for a bucket.
Here's DeVries. He'll pull up on the top of Rocky. This one just long. And the rebound taken by Luke Woodley. Gets it to Grant to the top and Runyon. Runyon, there's a little drive off the right hand on the left-hand side of the hoop. He's got 9 points. He had 6 total in their first 2 games.
Yeah, unexpected bright spot is Runyon for Johnston so far in this game. 9 points to go for him. That, and a couple of those were 3-pointers. But, you know, like you said, he hasn't shown the capacity so far this season to be a scorer that can dominate a game.
Sanford, little strong on that shot. Rebound Rocky again, and here come the Dragons. Runyon's going to pull up a 3. Look out. Johnson already has trimmed this thing to 43-27. And DeVries says we need to take it easy here. And they're going to call time. Johnson comes out the first 2 minutes here. And certainly, John, answering the bell when they needed to. If they can get this within 10 points at the end of the quarter, which is certainly within reach, we could have a ball game here.
Yeah, I like this timeout by Waukee. I think what Coach is saying here in this timeout is, okay, that was insane, that first half, what you did. Jared, now, or Tucker, excuse me, now let your teammates carry you a little bit. Kind of play, you know, we're still going to play the offense through you, but don't feel like you have to do all the scoring. Let's get some of the other guys involved. Let's play good defense, and let's just ride this out. I think they'd be completely fine if this current lead just stuck through the rest of the half. I don't think that they're looking to build upon this right now, but rather just keep it where it is, chew clock, and let's get out of here with the big-time statement W.
Waukee will have it. We'll see, and Sanford still with 5 points. I mean, like you feel like you're sitting on something with him. He's bound to start scoring more as the game goes on. As DeVries goes to the backcourt to retrieve it. Coach Justin Ola, I agree with you. Good to get a timeout, nip that in the butt if you're Waukee before that starts snowballing in the wrong direction. Here's Price. Sanford leaves it. Nice little dump pass to Lincoln Swanson, who gets his first 2. And that's a way that you can get some open looks for other guys. You're looking at DeVries and Peyton Sanford. Some of these other guys can create offense for themselves. Here's Grant working on Peyton Sanford. Tries to get it to Rocky. He does. 3 guys around him. He'll kick it over to Runyon again.
Runyon going on a little bit of a run of his own here in the second half. He's been the spark. 15 points here for the Johnston Dragons, coming in with 6.
Total
in a pair of games.
Here's DeVries on the right wing. He's picked up by Grant, passed on, but to Breeze Proctor. They both had plenty of opportunities to try to slow him down, unable to do so in the first half. Here's Sanford, a little Dirk Nowitzki one-legged fadeaway, and that's maybe what he needs to get himself going.
Yeah, that fadeaway, he's got a little bit of a length, creates a good shot for him there.
And Grant, nice little hook shot in the lane over Sanford.
Team's trading buckets here, and I'm sure Waukee will do that all day long.
Absolutely. You can trade buckets if you're scoring offensively. A little cheat there left Heston wide open, but he missed the shot. Runyon, the weak side rebound, hustles it ahead. Grant left without the basketball, picks it up, timeout Johnston.
Unfortunate timeout there. You don't want to have to take that. Looks like he took his eyes off the ball, was driving towards the basket before it actually came to him. A little bit of a mix-up there.
Yeah, but was able to recover possession, get the timeout called. 47-32, Waukee with a 15-point lead. It was 23 at the half. Like I said, I think a good realistic goal is you get it within 10 going into the fourth, and at least you have a puncher's chance here, John. Try to get yourself a shot to win when the way that first half played, I mean, it was a one-sided affair. And it, like I said, I mean, a lot of teams would pack it up and head home mentally knowing what you saw, 28 points from one guy against you in Tucker DeVries. Right now, an opportunity for them just to kind of settle it down, not even halfway through this quarter yet, and take what was a 23-point deficit. They got it down to 15. Have an opportunity to cut it even further.
Yeah, Johnston showing a bit of fight here, still never saying die, and that's a great goal. If you can get this within 10 by the end of the quarter, you set yourself up to go on a little bit of a run and scare Waukee and possibly steal one.
And Luke Woodley, who averages 15 a game, just got his first two on a nice little pass on the drive by Jacob Runyon. Here's Heston in the right corner, guarded by Woodley. Get it back to DeVries. Proctor in his shirt now. He's going to drive with the left hand. He's going to pull up. Contested shot. That's off the mark. And Rocky, his 9th rebound, and you can see DeVries just trying to force it a little bit, but that pass by Runyon is off the mark, stolen away. Here's Frank Sanford, all the way left hand and one. Proctor's 4th, and that's a big deal too, because Proctor's one of the best defenders they have.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Proctor, 3 of those fouls have been just weird ticky-tack. That one, obviously, going on the fast break, you don't want to commit a foul there because you didn't stop him from scoring, and now you're at your 4th. Proctor's had an unfortunate day, to say the least.
So Sanford, now with 9, will go to the line looking for his 10th. Proctor and Runyon will come out for a moment. Trey Lewis, who also averages 13 points a game, who is only 2 so far, as Sanford's free throw is good. He's got 10 now, and he'll have a quick seat. Will be replaced by Blake Pappenberg. Kramer also in. Stephen Kramer had a nice first half. He was hitting the boards pretty hard, had 4 points in the first half for Johnston. It's a 16-point edge for Waukee. Let's see what Johnston can do now with their spark plug Runyon out of the game, as they're going to get Rocky, I believe, for an over the back, and that's going to be his second.
Rocky. His second, team second.
Now, what you can't let happen if you're Johnston, you worked it all the way back within 15 points or so. Actually, they had it down to 13. You just can't let them build it back up to 18-20 here with 3+ minutes to go. Price Sanford gets it to Pappenberg, swings it out to the top. Heston over to DeVries. DeVries wants the left hand, loses his man, has missed the last 4 or 5 shots he's taken. He goes cross court, finds an open Price Sanford, but his shot's short. Rebound tipped and taken by Rocky, and he is fouled by Heston. Rocky, that's 10 boards by my count for him, and he has really been cleaning up the glass here in the first 4.5 minutes of this third quarter.
Yeah, done an absolutely phenomenal job, and now Johnston's going to have the opportunity here to cut this lead down even more. You know, we talked about chipping away, trying to get this within about 10 as you go into the next quarter.
Peyton Sanford comes in for Price Sanford. Runyon right back in for Johnston as well. He came and got Reed Grant. The teams try to manage minutes here in the early going this season, try to get as much energy out on the floor as possible. Runyon walks it into the front court here for Johnston. Still down 16, but in desperate need of trying to get this. Like I said, 10 should be a reasonable goal. Here's Lewis, left wing 3, got it.
That'll help a little bit, Emery.
Luke Woodley, a good setup. And with 3 minutes left, they're within 13. This is the closest they've been. Here's DeVries. Picked up by Rocky. He likes the matchup. Goes over to Pappenberg, though. Lewis is all over him. Now DeVries steps inside the arc, kicks it to Heston. Right corner three. That's off the mark. Rebound Kramer. Kramer wants to push it himself. Gets it to Runyon. Thought about the pull-up. Now he'll settle it down with Woodley. Woodley drops it down. Rocky posts up. Yeah, good play by Rocky going back on the spin against Swanson, and all of a sudden it's an 11-point game.
An old school basketball play by Rocky, who's playing like an old school basketball player.
That was a 1960s post move. Heston left alone for three.
Look like a little bit of confusion there. Johnston leaving Heston wide open.
Yeah, and he had missed the last couple, so maybe they just got a little lackadaisical with that, but that pushes it back up to 14. And cut it to 11 after that last bucket. Here's Lewis, left hand, good touch, can't get the roll. Rocky on the offensive glass again. You called it. I mean, he's going to work.
He's going to work, an absolute workhorse underneath the basketball, underneath the basket, and just like I said, old school hustle basketball.
Woodley working against Sanford, misses a shot, rebound Runyon. He's going to push for the Dragons, looking to cut it to 10. Runyon with it to the top of the key. Lewis at the volleyball line, sizes up, now drives, left hand scoop. Lewis, timeout Johnson. They don't want Waukee to run out on him. All of a sudden it is 10 with 1:33 left. We'll take a break, come back. We got a new ball game brewing here in Waukee. Warriors still lead by 10 on CISN.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau's seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
53-43, second-ranked Waukee leads eighth-ranked Johnston, but Johnston has trimmed 13 points off their halftime deficit. We'll see how Waukee responds here as Johnston still has 90 seconds in which they can trim it further. Reed Grant guarding DeVries, who has really cooled off after his hot 28-point first half. He's got it, catch and shoot three left wing. Not this time. Good rebound positioning by Grant, and he's fouled over the back by Connor Sudout.
And Emery, one thing that we're seeing is DeVries was so hot in that first half that now that he's cooled down, nobody else on the team really seems to be getting in a groove. Maybe Peyton Sanford a little bit, but nobody else really feels comfortable yet in the game. And Johnson's really been able to take advantage of any lapse in DeVries' play, and they've really struck here in the third quarter.
Here's Grant. Sizing up Sanford, he'll drive, stops, pops, nowhere to go with it. Kick it all the way back out. Runyon, little between the leg dribble, drives, little floater over the top of his head. Good defense by DeVries, pulled out of there by Sudout. Coming the other way are the Warriors. 50 seconds left. DeVries, spin move, tough little shot inside. Did a good job not traveling and got himself two more, and he's got 30. Woodley, stop, pop, three ball, short. That would have been a huge shot in that spot, but the rebound, Peyton Sanford, and again, it's poked away by Lewis, and then Sudout, who lost the ball, going to get called for the foul.
A little bit of collision there between the two players, but it looks like everyone's okay.
Well, that's a huge turnover there, and a good job by Lewis poking that away from Sudout, who kind of got caught at midcourt. That's a third foul on Sudout.
Emery, we said the goal was to get this thing within 10. A 2 here would do that. A 3 would get him down to single digits.
Ball in the hands of Johnson. Backdoor cut. Grant lays it in. What a pass from Runyon.
You can't draw it out better than that. That is perfect textbook backdoor cut.
And a great setup on the pass from Runyon. Sanford to Sanford. They're going to go down low. Mismatch. Sudout working on the smaller Runyon. He doesn't have the dribble, though. He lost his dribble. Gets it back to Sanford. Sanford doubled. Kicks it out. Heston shoots it with 5 left. Long. Lewis can't get the rebound. DeVries at the horn comes up short, and it is a 10-point lead at the end of the third quarter. What a job by Johnston to cut this lead from 23 down to 10 with 8 minutes left in regulation. We'll take a break, come back with a fourth after this. Waukee by 10 over Johnston on CISN.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving Northwest and Central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence, community, and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
We didn't know if we'd have a ball game this late into the game, the way that Waukee was playing. 28 first half point from Tucker DeVries. They had a 23-point halftime lead, but a 25-point quarter for Johnston cut the lead down to 10 as we start this fourth quarter. And Peyton Sanford can't make the first shot of the quarter, and Max Rocky has his 12th rebound. Quickly the other way, Grant, kick out, wide open, Kramer, 3 just short, rebound loose, but it's going to be a foul going the other way. The Johnston Dragons not happy about it. I think they're going to get Grant. It will be Grant. That's his second.
His second, team third.
And just the team's third. We didn't have a lot of fouls in that third quarter, so both teams relatively free of foul trouble. There are 4 fouls on Breeze Proctor. As an individual, that's the only foul trouble we have really on either side. Some players have 3. We'll monitor that for you, but neither team really in danger of going into the bonus at this point. Waukee by 10. DeVries just 2 points since his explosion in the first half. This pass somehow finds Heston cross court. He drives, 3 players on him. His pass is tipped. Price Sanford does end up with it. He's going to try to dump it in. Does. The return pass is stolen by Rocky. He's got it and gets it ahead to Runyon, and they'll settle it down. Rocky's doing everything.
A lot of work down low. Good job by him almost turned the ball over there, but was able to recover, and Johnston's in their half-court set.
Johnston, like I said, scored 25 points in that quarter. They know they can make up this 10-point deficit in just a quarter of action as there's going to be a charge. Lewis came flying in there.
That's the 4th time that Lewis has come almost from the volleyball line and just cut right down to the basket. You do it that many times, they're going to start to notice, and good job there getting in front, taking the charge.
Lincoln Swanson did that, and that is the 4th foul on Trey Lewis. So second leading scorer coming in on the season. Now he's going to have to take a seat. Inbound comes to DeVries, who still continues to run the offense despite being cold here. He's going to get a double in the backcourt and a little trap action. Price Sanford over to Heston. He's going to try to go down Swanson. Swanson's got it. Peyton Sanford, it was tipped by Kramer. He gets it, pulls up from the elbow, in and out. Just hasn't really been falling for him. Rebound to Rocky. Going the other way, Runyon tries to find Rocky as the teams go flying down the floor, and it will be Waukee basketball. Johnston crowd not happy about that 50-50 call that goes against their Dragons. And a minute and a half in, neither team has been able to score. A little bit kind of sloppier here the first.
I think, Emory, obviously it benefits Waukee, the fact that neither team's been able to get on the scoreboard in this quarter.
As Heston and DeVries run into each other, and the ball goes out of bounds. So it just continues to add to the sloppy play. I mean, the teams played very clean. We had 8 combined turnovers coming into this quarter. In 98 seconds, we ended up having 4 turnovers between the 2 teams combined. Runyon, a step back 3 from the wing. That's a miss. Rebound loose. Kramer picks it up and lays it in.
Single-digit lead for the first time.
In a long time
since the first quarter.
Yes, it has been, honestly. At the end of the first quarter, it was a 9-point lead for Waukee. Here's Heston, left alone again, right corner three. He's hit a couple of those, unable to here. Rebound loose, Kramer's got it, and he's going to push it the other direction. Woodley a three, no. And he can't get going either, and it's going to be a foul on Johnston underneath.
That really would have got the crowd going. You can tell Johnston one big-time three-pointer away from really being in this one within striking distance.
Foul was on Waukee. That's his third. If Luke Woodley would have hit that, that would have been his first three. He only has 2 points. He averaged 15 a game coming in. Maybe he has a couple of big shots in him as that pass is wide of the mark. Was it tipped? No, it was not. It will be Johnston ball. And they're going to talk about it. And Johnston says, no way can you change that call. And we'll see. And they will stick with the call. Johnston within 8. They can get it within 5 or 6 here. I mean, it will be a sprint to the finish. Here's Kramer. Probes in. Slices the defense. Shot was blocked by Price Sanford. Going the other direction now. 3-ball. Heston. Big-time shot.
Good job by Waukee. Keeping Johnston at arm's length distance. We're back over double digits for the deficit now.
Pocket pass stolen away by DeVries. And a bucket here would be brutal for the Johnston comeback attempt. Swanson, pump fake, stolen by Kramer. What hands by Steven Kramer. And now he'll drive. Kick it into the corner. Catch and shoot three by Grant.
There's the big three, Emory, that Johnston needed after giving up a little bit of ground to Waukee. Now it's an 8-point game again.
Kramer to Grant. These guys, they were not really on our radar, and they are playing huge here. DeVries has his shot blocked by Grant. Rebound still keeps it down here with the Warriors. 3. Left short, and there's going to be a foul on Waukee. That's his 4th. Good positioning underneath. Lincoln Swanson, he's going to work on the boards as well.
We talked about how big of a role Rocky's played now with his 4th, but you got to keep him out there. There's only 4 minutes left in this game, and you're going to need his presence if you're going to have a chance to come back.
Inbound comes to Heston, working on Woodley, goes to the baseline. He stepped on the end line. It's a little bit too sloppy. Timeout Waukee. Both teams playing pretty much at the same rate right now, but Waukee still has the benefit of the 8-point lead, 58-50. Fun one brewing here in Waukee. Just over 4 minutes left here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead. Lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
58-50, Waukee kind of nursing an 8-point lead, led by 23 at the half. Johnston has kept coming and coming and coming. And to Waukee's credit, they haven't succumbed to this point, but 4:13 left. Johnston has the basketball. If they hit a shot down here, John, we're still just one big shot away from really feeling like this is anybody's ball game.
Emory, this feels exactly like the 2016 Iowa State Cyhawk basketball game in which Jared Uthoff came out and scored 40 points in the first half.
30
points in the first half, ended up with 32. Iowa State came back at the end. We'll see if Johnston can duplicate what they did in Ames.
That is a great pull on that one, John Hurl. That Uthoff, that it's almost exactly what's happened with DeVries here, as there's a careless pass from Kramer, and Price Sanford comes out of there with a steal. If Waukee's defense can keep them going, the offense has gotten a little stagnant here. The defense could win them this game. Breeze Proctor back in the game, trying to guard Sanford. He finds Heston. Heston down in the short corner, able to go in and lay it up. Good job by Sanford to find him. Back up to 10. Runyon has to corral this ball in the center circle. Grant wants to drive, stops, goes cross court. Heston gets a hand on it, pulled back in by Woodley. Runyon over to Grant. Grant over to Proctor. Proctor back to the top.
It's offensive set a lot more stagnant than Johnston would like.
Oh, but then Grant just pulls it and buries a 3. Oh, it's a huge shot for the moment, and it's down to 7 with 3:11 left. Like you said, nothing was happening. He just pulls a 3 and hits it. Johnston calls a timeout.
30-second timeout.
We've seen some crazy shots made, specifically by Tucker DeVries for Waukee, but that is as timely a pull. And then on top of Grant's little fadeaway 3 he hit just moments ago.
Well, Emory.
Grant came in here, 9.5 points per game, but he's hit 2 crazy shots, and he's got 14 now to keep his team in it.
Well, when we came into this half, one thing we said is that Johnston needs to keep taking the types of shots that they were getting, because eventually the averages will even out. All of those terrible, all those good shots that they were missing and not getting in the first half, it seems like the luck has swung back to them. These things even out, and they're starting to get those shots to fall. 7 points, the deficit here with 3:11. That's very manageable if you're Johnston, but you have to get a defensive stop here.
Yeah, you can't be messing around and go basket for basket this late in the game, especially with no shot clock. We'll see. They go with a little half or full court trap for a moment there on DeVries. Price Sanford has it. They're trying to get it back to DeVries, and they will. A little miscommunication left Price Sanford open, but he can't make him pay.
I'm surprised Sanford took a shot that early in the offensive possession. I thought they might try to milk it more.
Here comes Runyon. Little last-minute decision to lay it up, but on the weak side, Waukee the rebound, and he puts it back up and in, and it's down to 5. Swanson has it, gets it to DeVries as they'll push it ahead. 2.5 to go. It's only a 2-possession game. Another defensive stop, and Johnston could cut it to a 1-possession game. We'll see. The 5-second count is on. 2 guys watching DeVries. He loses his man for a moment to get the count off. Here's Heston down in the short corner. He's going to come back to the outside. Now they're running a little bit of clock here in this offense. We'll see how risky Johnston tries to get to try to move him along here. Still got some time. You don't have to immediately foul here if you can get a stop. Here's DeVries working on Grant. Loses him for a second. Shot in and out. Rebound, pulled down, and then a foul. 15 rebounds for Max Waukee. That is not in the bonus, though. DeVries is going to get called for his 3rd foul, but now Johnston with the ball with 2:01 left. Woodley's going to check back into the game here for Johnston. He'll replace Waukee. No, he will not. He's going to grab Kramer. Yes, no, they're going to grab Waukee. Kramer's going to go down to the other end of the floor. 3 fouls on DeVries. That's just the 4th team foul for Waukee, so free throw's not really an issue here for Johnston, at least unless they're shooting. Here's Proctor. Over to Grant. He's had the hot hand. Kramer looking, loses his man, drives, kicks it out. Grant to 3. No. Rebound, Heston. He had a look, and now they'll leak it out to Sanford. Sanford guarded by Proctor. Proctor didn't get called. He put 2 hands on him. That's his 5th. You can't put 2 hands on a ball handler. No matter where it is on the floor, 2 hands, that is a hand check foul. He's out. Waukee with 4 fouls will come back in, and it's a 1-and-1 now. Because they managed the foul situation earlier, John, this isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world if you can get a miss on the first free throw.
No, it's not, Emory. If you're Johnston, obviously you would have loved for that 3 to fall on your side, but you still have a minute and a half. The foul situation is okay, but what you need to do here is you need one of these misses, and you need to go get a bucket of your own.
First free throw, Sanford makes. He's got 11 points, obviously a little bit under what we were expecting from him, but DeVries certainly has carried that torch despite only having 2 points in the second half. He had 28 in the first half, which was, they're really still just living off that huge lead. Sanford gets the second to fall, and that makes it a 3-possession game. So now Johnston does have to go with some pace here, and they have to score on this possession. Kramer nearly got the and one. Is fouled by Heston. And now it'll be Stephen Kramer to the free throw line for 2 really big free throws.
A chance here. Good job by getting it to the free throw line early in the clock, not wasting a lot of time here, Johnston, with the opportunity to get some points.
Kramer in 2 games played had only scored 2 points total and only taken 2 shots total, and it's been a huge part of this comeback for this Johnston Dragons team, and he makes the first free throw here. You'd really like to have the second one as well to give yourself maybe that 1-point cushion to keep this a 2-possession game. Trying to knock it down to 5. Rattles it home. 8 in the game for Kramer. Now, how do you defend this if you're Johnston? Swanson with it. They were trying to foul him, couldn't get there in time. Now DeVries has it. They trap him, pass it over to Sanford, and he'll baseball pass it ahead to Heston, who gets in the front court to break the timeline. They're going to play it, and timeout's going to be called by head coach Dustin Ohl. We'll go ahead and take one more break. 68 seconds left in regulation. There's a little bit of cramping, it looks like, for DeVries. We'll see if he's all right. But Waukee leading by 5 with the ball right here on CISN.
We know you have choices where you buy and service your next vehicle. At Schottenkirk Chevrolet, our core values make the difference. Hard work, always working to exceed your expectations. Trust, we accept the challenge to earn yours. Honesty, it's non-negotiable. Integrity, everything we do is guided by our core values. Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee, let us prove to you why we're different.
With 1:08 left, second-ranked Waukee trying to stave off what has been a half-long comeback from Johnston, down by as many as 23. This is as close as they've gotten. They did have a chance to cut it to 2, a Reed Grant 3 that was open in the left wing. He had hit a couple of threes previously, and it's about as close as he could get without it going in. Hit the back iron and popped out. But still a chance. Johnston still has Waukee in just the 1-and-1s. Max Rocky, who's been very important, 13 points and 15 rebounds by my count for Johnston, has 4 fouls, so he can't be the one to commit the foul. But you got to think, John, within the first couple of seconds here, you got to pick a guy and try to foul him as fast as you can.
You absolutely do. You probably don't want that guy to be Sanford or DeVries, but anyone else you seem like you might want to put 2 hands on and stop him.
Here comes DeVries. He's going to come inside, and he'll lay it in. A lot of space there. Heston did a good job of finding him. So DeVries, 2 more. On the drive, nice pass to Rocky. Too strong. Gets his own miss, though, and puts it back up and in. He's got 15 and 16. Inbound pass comes to DeVries. They're going to trap him, and he walked.
Huge turnover there. Exactly what Johnston wanted. They've been trying to trap for a while. They get one here, and now they're going to have the opportunity to cut it to a 1-possession game, 46 seconds on the clock.
Well, that's like you said. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better situation, and now Runyon will inbound, gets it to Kramer. Kramer finds Woodley. Woodley has it slapped away. He grabs it, nearly was tripped, does get tripped, somehow gets it back. Runyon in the corner, now drives, finds Lewis, kick out. Grant drives, reverse layup. What?
Absolutely insane play to cut it to 1 possession.
It's 64-61. Lewis will be called for the foul, and that'll be his 5th. What a shot from Reed Grant.
Incredible shot. Emory, these things have a way of evening themselves out, and all those misses in the first half are becoming makes in the second as they've stormed back.
What was that shot?
That was probably the most insane shot we've seen tonight.
I mean, he
the boys game or
sliced
the
in,
girls
and he
game.
was like, he had somewhere to pass the ball, decided he couldn't pass it, and then just threw it up over his head with the English off the glass, and it rolled in. That was unreal. And now he's got a team-high 16. Price Sanford to the line for a 1-and-1, makes the first. That is a big free throw from the freshman. That is a huge free throw. The pressure's on there because if you miss that, they have the ball and a chance to tie. One more from Price Sanford. Ice water in his veins.
Sanford eliminates the play, the beautiful finger roll.
Runyon kicks it out. Woodley. He'll drive in, looks for contact, can't get it. Rocky the rebound, he's fouled.
Good job by Rocky there. That shot was a little bit short by Runyon. Rocky rose up, took it actually out of the air, and he's going to have a chance at the foul line.
Lincoln Swanson gets called for the foul. That's 3 on him. Rocky to the line. He's 3 for 4 at the stripe. These are important ones. Try to get it back within 1 possession. First one, off the mark. And I mean, he knows that he needed that one, but he is, I mean, yeah, Reed Grant's gotten hot here lately, but it's been him that's kept them in this game.
Yeah, it really has. If you're looking at Johnston, I think your player of the game is Rocky.
Oh, without
for the
a
work
doubt.
that he's done underneath the glass.
He missed the second as well. Rebound, Sanford, and he is fouled.
Unfortunate for Rocky. He knows what the opportunity that he just missed there. And, you know, coming away from this game, it looks like it's probably not going to go Johnston's way. Hopefully he's not too discouraged with his performance because of that, the way he ended, because he really did have a phenomenal game.
Well, and on top of that, I mean, you just look at the way they came back. They just would not die. It would have been so easy early season game, first couple of weeks, you roll over at halftime down 23. You gave up 28 points to one guy, and somehow you found a way to get within a possession in the last minute of the fourth quarter. Credit not only to this Johnston team, but Coach Brian Frick and his staff for keeping these guys engaged, and a great job for them to execute that despite how many crazy things that needed to happen for them to get within range. As Peyton Sanford makes the first and the second, 8 for 8 at the line for him. Wasn't his night shooting or scoring the ball otherwise, but 8 for 8, huge free throws. Ball lost out of the air, taken by Swanson. Johnston will force a jump ball with 3 seconds left. It will be Johnston with the basketball down 7 with 3.5, but they still won't stop playing. Runyon fires it in, gets it to Grant. Grant fires from 25 feet, and that'll do it. What a game, though. Big credit, as mentioned, to the Johnston Dragons. 68-61 is our final. Second-ranked Waukee beats 8th-ranked Johnston, and what was a phenomenal high school basketball game here in Central Iowa. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will wrap it up, give you the final stats, and just kind of try to put everything into words what we just saw here. Waukee picks up a 7-point win right here on CISN.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Fall is upon us and fireplace season is here, and you need a new Heat and Glow gas fireplace insert. They're the perfect thing to make that old wood fireplace more beautiful, warmer, and easier to use. And right now, Heat and Glow is giving a $200 rebate, making it even easier for you to upgrade that old fireplace. Please come see them today. Fireplace Superstore, 109th and Douglas in Urbandale.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Central Bank, proud to be a long-standing Iowa tradition. Founded in 1887 in Storm Lake, we've grown over the years from that one location to a bank serving Northwest and Central Iowa, employing more than 200 people in the region. Being here and being from here, it makes Central Bankers unique in the banking world. Decisions are made here. Investments of our time and resources are made here. For us, banking is still about people. Our reverence for community and hard work speaks to a proud Iowa heritage. Our passion for small business to bold new directions forward for our bank and the Iowans we serve. Thank you for your support of Central Bank. Let's keep it going. Let's plan together. Let's execute for Iowa's small business, agricultural, and individual banking customers. Central Bank is ready to make it happen. Member FDIC.
Final score, second-ranked Waukee defeats 8th-ranked Johnston, 68-61. A phenomenal basketball game that we didn't think was going to be close the way the first half was played. 43-20 was the halftime score. Waukee's Tucker DeVries had 28 points in the first half, but Johnston reconfigured themselves, had a great third quarter, got themselves back in the game, got within a possession in the last minute of the second half. John, you have to take a peek at the way that this game played out to really understand what happened. You got to give credit to both sides in what we saw here. But I think the bottom line is we saw two very good teams on the boys' side here tonight.
You know, Emery, really a strange game in the guys' game. And if you look at the box score and if you look at the final score, you think, okay, that sounds reasonable. Oh, you know, cool to see DeVries go off, and Sanford was right there with 14. The way in which those points were scored, though, were so odd. And frankly, it was just a pleasure to watch the game and really see how the story unfolded. But really a story of two halves and a story of really outlasting your opponent. Waukee built in what ended up being an insurmountable lead in the first half. But if you're Johnston, I don't think you walk away from this game too upset. Your coach challenged you at halftime. He said, all right, you're still the 8th best team in the state. Let's wipe away all the points. Let's play 0-0. Go out there, play your best basketball, answer the call, and that's exactly what they did. I think that you have to be proud of your team for doing that, for fighting back, not being discouraged, and that is the type of resilience that you build at this game that can help you later on in the season.
32 points for DeVries. He only had 4 in the second half, but it really was the 28-point outburst that built up what was, like you said, an insurmountable lead. 4 rebounds and assists and a couple of steals for DeVries as well for good measure. Peyton Sanford didn't have a great night shooting the ball. In fact, only 6 points outside of free throws, but 8 for 8 at the line. Those were all gigantic free throws, even in the first half, as Waukee continued to build their lead. He also had 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. 13 points for Wyatt Heston as well. He hit a couple of big threes in the second half as Waukee kept trying to give themselves a little bit of breathing room from the oncoming Johnston Dragons. Heston also finished with 4 rebounds. On the other side, 3 guys finished in double figures. Reed Grant, who had a couple of ridiculous finishes, he finished with 16 points, 3 boards, 3 assists, a steal, and a block. Good all-around game from him, including what was an absurd reverse layup as they were trying to complete a comeback. 15 points for Jacob Runyon. Jacob Runyon, a guy who had scored all of, 6 points in 2 games coming in. Really was keeping them afloat when they were struggling early. He finished with 15 with 4 rebounds and a couple of assists. But the real story of the game on that side was Max Rocky, the junior big man, especially in the second half, was killing it on the glass. 15 points, 17 rebounds by my count, also with a steal. The guy kind of, while his numbers obviously are going to, 15 and 17 for a high school big man, They don't get anywhere close without his effort in the second half.
And I think, Emory, when you look at Rocky, you're seeing the Johnston the team themselves. He kept his team. He kept working early in that second half when it would have been really, really easy to roll over and die. He was really the lifeblood of his team, keeping his team going, playing really, really hard despite the deficit. And I really think it was his effort that got the team rolling in the second half and allowed them to come back.
Well, with that being the case, it was still Waukee who picked up the victory, 68-61. Johnston's next doubleheader is going to be this Friday. They're going to take on Ankeny Centennial at home. Should be a good way for the girls to come home after earlier tonight the Johnston girls beat Waukee in another ranked matchup, 67-57. Waukee, they are going to double back here at home against the Fort Dodge Dodgers. That's going to be in this gymnasium, the Waukee Fieldhouse, this Friday. John, this is just the first of many times we hope to be a part of these fine broadcasts. And it was fun getting the band back together, if you will, from our Oskaloosa days.
Absolutely, Emory. A lot of fun. It's good to be back in the booth. You know, right in the middle of finals week. This is exactly what I needed to get re-energized. Exactly what I needed to get my mind going. So I appreciate the call, and thank you so much. And thank you to everyone at the Central Iowa Sports Network. They've got a really good team here, and they put on a good production.
Final scores, once again on the girls' side, Johnston defeats Waukee 67-57. On the boys' side, Waukee holds off the Johnston rally 68-61. For our producer, Devin Taylor, Jeff Getting, our cameraman, Reese Webb, Randy Nielsen, Pete Tarpey, and big thanks to the Courteous Activities Director and all of Waukee, Jim Dewey, and the Waukee Warriors staff. For John Hurl, I'm Emory Songer. We appreciate you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Signing off here as the team split right here on Central Iowa Sports Network.